DC's Absolute Power is the next major event. Well, Blood Hunt is technically the next major event coming from the big two, but we're not worried about that one because Absolute Power has the best creative team for an event coming out anytime soon. And it's, to me at least, very exciting. It's been a while since we've been able to do a news-focused show. So we are going to get into a lot of stuff today. Some stuff that we missed because we had an interview blitz, it feels like, over the last couple of weeks.
Right.
But also some of the new developments that have dropped this week. We're going to be talking Scout Comics and all the drama with them. There is a lot to unpack. And we have some critical X-Men news that I think closes the door on one of the questions that we have going into the end of year game, the end of year one of the end of year questions. So we've got a big show today. The gang's all here. We've got Cale.
What's up, hot dogs?
Marco.
What's up, minions?
Tyler.
You gotta find it.
What's up, my allergies?
Weirdly, that one worked.
And I'm Sean. Hello to everybody that is watching. We appreciate you guys joining and hanging out with us. Like I said before, we've got a lot of show to do, and it doesn't happen without you guys. So thank you for hanging out with us. Let's jump into Absolute Power. So during Comics Pro, which is the comic industry conference where they, reveal to retailers and other publishers and distributors what the year in comics is going to look like, DC dropped a couple of bombs. The first one is this. It's the Absolute Power event. It's going to be a 4-issue mini. The main title will be a 4-issue event title from Mark Waid and Dan Mora. The creative team, of course, behind Batman, Superman, World's Finest, one of DC's biggest books. I think it's DC's sort of main book.
Premiere.
Yeah. Supposed to be Titans. It's definitely not. And the proof is in the pudding, because look at the creative team that's doing this event. It ain't Tom Taylor.
Yeah.
And Bruno Redondo or
not that Bruno Redondo wouldn't be welcome.
Oh, certainly welcome. It's not even about them. And it's just really about the fact that Titans is not the team. They're taking Dan Mora and they're taking Mark Waid, and they're telling these two hot creators, hot young talent, Mark Waid is. They're saying, hey, take on this event with characters that you have not been dealing with and make it great.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about the creative team that they chose?
So on my flight to Seattle, I caught up on World's Finest, and I was hooked. That whole Kingdom Come arc was so fun. And just Dan Mora, it just draws what I imagine a DC comic book should look like in my head. It is just perfect. I really don't know a way to describe it. There is few things I can critique it on, which is wild. And I've been a Mark Waid head for as long as I can remember. Kingdom Come again, but even his stuff at Marvel that was technically more recently. His Daredevil run is my favorite run of all time for Daredevil.
Oh.
So I know Sean makes a joke about him not being a young talent, up and coming,
a young gun,
but he is kind of new to being back at DC. That's the furthest I can stretch that.
He's new to being back.
Yeah. Well, there was a long time where we just thought Mark Waid would never be back at DC. There was a lot of bad blood there. So when he was announced for World's Finest, it was like, yo, whoa, okay, cool. So I think he just works really well in this universe. I'm a little interested to see how he tackles essentially story beats from other people's stories with the Zeranar stuff and the Lady Brainiac and Amanda Waller. That's going to be interesting to see how he kind of mixes that in. but I'm pretty excited for him. I'm not excited for another event book, but at least the core of what this will be, I'm excited for.
Yeah, I think the table dressing that's getting set here looks to be a lot of fun. Like we just finished on Pals Polls, catching up on the failsafe Zur, this Lady Brainiac.
Sorry, Marco. I hate to interrupt you. Just talk about your thoughts on the creative team for now.
In that case, yeah, I mean it's just a solid team. I think for similarly for me on the art front, Mora is impeccable. Like I don't think he can do wrong. And in our community, huge, big love for him. And in Wade, I'm not as caught up on some of the smaller books, but I've read some of his larger pieces, Kingdom Come, obviously, some random pieces here and there. But he's a good writer, and I know that he's a good writer. And I know when I'm going into a Wade book, I don't have to worry. I know I'm going to get carried along through the story. So I think he's going to put his talents to work here, and combining all the elements that have already been good around the event, I think is going to lead to some good results.
Patrick says, hi, the Comic Pals love Tom Taylor. Hello, Patrick. Nice to see you. I'm sorry for my joke at Tom Taylor. I love Tom Taylor. It's just,
you didn't mean to be Bruno
fun.
reductive about that creative team.
Nice.
Yeah, Cale, you're in on this creative team?
Thrilled.
Yeah. I mean, it's great. I love the idea of a creative team that already works together, getting an event. I think you're gonna find synergy. I also am a big fan of like A tier team ups too, right? Like I love those. I love when like, Civil War, they went and got Mark Miller and they got McNeven. Like that is A on A. You know what I'm saying? That's always fun. But in this case, I don't see anything wrong with taking. I mean, Mark Waid and Dan Morris certainly are A tier. So why not keep them together if it's working?
Yeah.
Yep.
The concept of this event, and it's been teased obviously with what's been going on in Batman, certainly what Amanda Waller's been up to since Dawn of DC, and then Superman with the Brainiac Queen stuff. That's all been teased in those books. And, and Amanda Waller's obviously all over the place. This event seems to be based around the idea that, each one of these characters, this trinity of evil, they have acquired what it is that they want. They have absolute power. Failsafe, Zur-En-Arrh beat Batman. Amanda Waller beat superheroes. She's ascended to the top dog, basically. And Brainiac Queen, I have been following, so I'm not sure how that is all played out, but I don't even think that that's fully unfolded yet. I think we got to wait for Williamson's part in Superman All-Stars.
Yeah, have we even seen her yet?
I don't believe so.
Maybe in the mainline Superman book, because I know the just Superman, because I know Williamson is writing that. I don't know if that's been building there. I think it has. But I think the full-scale Brainiac Queen debut is in All-Stars. And basically Amanda Waller wants to use the great power that these three have access to remove metahuman power from Earth. She wants to get rid of that. That's a fine concept, I guess.
Yeah.
Strong premise. I mean, you can build from there, like it's nothing we haven't seen before, but I think from there, if you're a good writer, a good creative team, you can do a lot with it. You can play into some nuance.
And I think this combination of villains is new and unique as well.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. And I think that's what makes it cool too, is like it's not Darkseid.
Yeah.
I'm into that. I want a Darkseid event. It's been a long time. I think Final Crisis was the last Darkseid based event. But this one is based around characters that have never really been in this position before, and some who are genuinely new.
Yeah.
So in a way, it's kind of refreshing. Do you guys think that this is the event that leads to the return of the league?
Yes. And I bet it's a Wade lead too.
Oh,
I bet they walking it straight there.
Oh, I changed my mind. I was gonna say I was gonna push you on it, and then you said that, and nope, I agree. That makes so much sense.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's both of these guys on league. Honestly.
Did I stutter, Tyler?
Did you? I don't know. I didn't catch that. The league has to come back at this point. Like, not even like narratively, but like publishing line. I feel like it needs to be back. Yeah. I mean, the fact that the Trinity is front and center here, and there's an anti-Trinity. Like they're already kind of back at that point. Once you do that, like, and then Green Arrow is dealing with this too, so you know he's probably going to be involved somewhere. It's already there. You got to do it.
Bro, what's funny is that they've never been gone. Like, they've been chilling.
Don't even get me started. I'm gonna get started on that actually. But what about the Justice Gang? Remember that?
Nope.
We don't have.
Genuinely, what are you talking about?
Did we ever actually get anything from that yet?
No, nothing has happened. Basically, Cale, Bleeding Cool, Rich Johnson had reported that there was a Justice Gang coming before the league that would feature characters like more non-league-ish members. Like I think Harley Quinn was slated to be involved. I think Lobo was mentioned. So it was kind of sort of characters like that who were going to step in because there was no league.
Yeah.
They were going to be villains, right? Or like antagonists.
More street level.
Yeah, more streetish level, anti-heroes maybe type thing.
I'm honestly still okay with a Justice Gang happening if it's the new Avengers to Justice League's Mighty Avengers, you know? I'm fine with that.
That'll be quite a leap, I think.
I just want to get to the point where we have a Justice League. It's enough. And I wouldn't feel that way necessarily if the storytelling without the league was so amazing and there was like a logical reason why they're not together. Like it'd be nice if there was a problem between Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman that we didn't know about that caused the league to need to be over for them.
Yeah.
But they didn't even do that.
Spyro Storm says Condiment King for Justice Gang. Good. As we were sort of talking through some of that and thinking about like taking a step back for what the larger team could look like, I don't think we're going back to some of the more classic inclusions. Like when we get back to the Trinity's coming and then we get a Justice League, Birds of Prey has been a really big book, and I wonder if we're taking some characters from there. I wonder if outside of the Trinity, Aquaman hasn't had a book, so maybe he's not included. Cyborg maybe he's not there. Martian Manhunter's not included. Like I wonder what the construction of this team will be, knowing we have a certain number of characters currently in play in the DC universe. Like, are certain people from Titans going to get bumped up in that case? I wonder how this is going to play out post all of that, because presumably Absolute Power, they fight, the good guys win. Now we set up what is the new baseline for the way forward, starting with the Justice League.
Well, the league is the Justice League title. Like, I don't think it's unfair to say that book tends to be like a Martian Manhunter vehicle. Like any storyline you'll get for him will probably be found in the Justice League title. His runs are few and far between, and they tried that with Cyborg as well, but he works better with the Titans.
I mean, when was the last Justice League book? Bendis? At this point?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if we've read Justice League on Pal's Polls.
No, of course not. Justice League has...
Not because it wasn't there either.
I have not enjoyed the Justice League title in about 10 years. Last time I was hooked on the League was during the Jeff Johns run in the New 52. Outside of that, I haven't been able to give a care about them, but I'm ready to care. I'm ready to care about the League. I'm ready to care about the Avengers. This is what I want. But Marvel and DC seem to absolutely refuse to give me what I want. Yes, there is an Avengers book on the stands. No, I am not reading it because I do not like it. I want Marvel and DC to produce things that I like. And so what I would like is a Justice League book with the name Philip Kennedy Johnson on it. That's what I would like.
Ooh.
I ain't against that. The dude has big plans for the DC universe too. So
sign me up.
MP said, to BH, I don't really need a Justice League book. The Justice League book has maybe 4 great runs in modern history. I also prefer Batman, mostly separate from the wider DC. So there you go. If the Justice League has mostly been bad, then let's get someone on it who has already proven that he can handle an epic, sprawling story with Warworld, someone who's got a handle on Superman, and who I think can handle the team. That being Philip Kennedy Johnson. And then as far as art, you take your pick. You know, whoever it's going to be.
One of the weird things, too, as I'm thinking about it, is like, have we ever had a Justice League book when both Flashes are alive?
I don't know.
And, like, active? Because Wally and Barry are in the mix now.
Well, haven't they both been? I mean, weren't they both in the New 52?
No, Wally was pretty much gone.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Okay. So Rebirth. They were both active during Rebirth.
I guess. Okay. Yeah. So like,
but Wally was in the Titans. Yeah.
And like, Green Lantern is pretty active right now. Green Arrow is like the classic. Everyone that would be in a Justice League the way you would see it on a flyer for Six Flags. You know, like the perfect image of what a Justice League looks like. They're all available and free right now.
The Jim Lee banner.
Yeah, I don't remember the last or like a Jose Luis Garcia Lopez like sort of thing.
Yep.
Where like everyone has been free to use, and like that is like the potential is there. You know, throw in a couple of like POV characters, Blue Beetle, whatever. But like I don't remember the last time the DC universe lined up this perfectly for a Justice League team.
Dude, you're so right. Blue Beetle also, I think that's a great call out because I feel like DC wants something to happen with that character.
Blue Beetle has been the character for a long time.
God, I'm such an idiot. I keep thinking Ted Kord Blue Beetle.
All right,
Jaime Reyes.
Living up to your boomer
what are you talking
title.
about? He's Batman Jr. He's been around since 1960, whatever.
So before I make the next point I wanted to make, thank you to everybody who's watching us live. I appreciate everyone who wants to spend their Saturday morning with us, no matter what time it is for you. Make sure you guys smash that like button. We've got a very special draft we want to play a little bit later. We're going to forego the wheel for a special reason. And also, we've got a game that Cale cooked up that we're going to play.
Ooh.
We're going to play live. So we've got some fun things going on and a lot more to get to. So make sure you hit that like button. Super chats are open. Channel memberships are open if you guys want to join us on that side of things. Thank you to everybody that does. We recently put out the other day the deep dive into 5G, DC 5G. And that's a long thing. Check it out if you'd like to. We're very proud of it. In that 5G thing, one of the plans that DC had was to sort of brand or bring out a new super team, but they were going to call it the Justice Alliance. So before the return of the League, we would have gotten the Alliance, the Justice Alliance. So I'm wondering if on some level, the idea of a Justice Gang before the League is still some of that 5G, debris that we're working through.
Runoff. Sure. Yeah, there's a lot of 5G runoff that we've gotten little bits and pieces of.
A lot.
Be sort of like the was it the Jeff Lemire's Justice League of America?
Yeah.
In the New 52?
Yep. I remember that. Just get to the League for me. That's how I feel about it. Just get to the League. I am excited for this event. We are going to get more information. Free Comic Book Day. There's going to be an absolute power Free Comic Book Day special. It's going to have 32 pages plus 12 pages of an original story by Cale Janin and Mark Waid. Nice to see Cale. And a little bit of a preview of the first issue of Absolute Power. Then we're getting Absolute Power Ground Zero in June, which is a prelude. And then the House of Brainiac story that gives us the Brainiac Queen and Amanda Waller's involvement and everything like that. So we've got a lot of stuff coming that is Absolute Power based. This is my most anticipated event of the year so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Especially with what's gotten announced so far. Yeah.
Given that they're announcing events 2 months in advance now, yeah, I think that's fair to say.
I mean, Blood Hunt.
No, this feels.
Go ahead. What are you gonna say?
It's this. Yeah.
This feels like the most planned one. This feels the most potentially cohesive. It looks like everything is pointing comfortably towards this, as opposed to maybe we're having to pull together disparate ideas and smash it.
Yeah, I agree with that. There is something like, yes, Failsafe is newer, Brainiac Queen is new, but Amanda Waller really has been in the trenches. And we all know that. We've been reading these books ever since the dawn of DC. I think you could even say a little before the dawn of DC. So I like the organic nature of this build, but I will give Blood Hunt credit. They are building on also years of not only Jed McKay storytelling, but just the general like vampire, dark side of Marvel stuff.
Dark side?
Not dark side. Dark side.
Dude, Dan Mora draws Dark Side in That World's Finest. There's a bit of Dark Side in it, and it is so damn good. So.
Sure.
Yeah, MP says there are 6 books leading into this being Absolute Power. The Trinity solo books, your Superman, your Batman, and I assume your Wonder Woman, Arrow, Titans, and Suicide Squad Dream Team.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, even pulling from the main line of DC books right now, like that's quite a bit of groundwork.
I'm thinking through some of the construction pieces. Like, what if Waller had been at the top here, and then it would have been Brainiac Queen, Failsafe, and then oh my god, I'm blanking on the guy from Wonder Woman right now.
Sovereign.
Yeah, the Sovereign. He talks to you all the time.
He's burned out of my brain.
BFFs.
What, like, as opposed to replacing Waller with the Sovereign, would that have enticed you guys? Okay.
It has to be Waller at this point.
Wouldn't have.
Waller's been having machinations since the first Suicide Squad movie came out and they tried tying her in.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
A, I hate the Sovereign, and B, Amanda Waller has been cooking, so she needs her moment in the sun.
The only person that could do this better would be someone like Granny Goodness or something. Like,
you're a big Granny Goodness guy.
Who isn't?
I didn't know who you were going to say. I did not expect you to say Granny fucking Goodness.
Having been a listener of the podcast before I joined, I would always notate whenever Cale talked about Granny Goodness, and it is often.
It is.
Yeah, it hasn't been in a while, but
yeah.
Mark it if you got it on the bingo card.
And then the other thing with this team too that makes it make sense is that, you know, Amanda Waller does not like metahumans or anyone with powers. So
or
these
anyone.
are right. So Brainiac and Zur are machines. That's perfect for her.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Mm-hmm.
Good way to throw Peacemaker in here too. You know, a little TV synergy.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be involved. He's been everywhere Waller's been, even though he's a doofus. Because remember when he
capable doofus.
Is he capable? He got smoked by Nightwing. Remember that?
Come on. That was always
sometimes those cakes be distracting though, you know.
It was like he fumbled that fight. Like that was goofy. But be that as it may. The other thing that I wanted to say, someone in the chat, I think it was MP, might have said it earlier, and it's worth talking about. A lot of people have said, and we've actually talked about on the show, that this could be the lead in to the potential Ultimate Universe spinoff that DC has not, I guess they haven't teased, but that everyone else has talked about. And that Scott Snyder seems to be teasing. So I personally don't understand how you get from point A to point B if point A is absolute power and point B is an ultimate spinoff. I don't see how that makes sense. But I do believe that we will be getting that this year somehow.
So there is precedent for Amanda Waller traveling the multiverse to regain, like to rejuvenate herself and figure out a new plan and maybe take some stuff from that world over. That's as far as I can see in terms of crossing this over with that. She's reeling from the end of this event, travels the multiverse, finds a new one.
And that's are you doing a bit right now?
No, she has. Yeah, she went to Earth 3, I believe, after something to like figure out like the is Earth 3 the Injustice League? Because she goes to that world.
Sounds right.
Yeah.
I don't think it needs a lead-in. I don't see why it needs to tie into anything. If it's new, then the last thing you want to do is tie it in. I think it worked with Marvel's Ultimate Universe because this is not the one from before. It doesn't have the same agenda, and they needed the maker. And the only way to make that work, Jonathan Hickman had a plan, a larger story. I think that this needs to be as basic as possible. Like, do not actually tie it in to anything.
Same as the first Ultimate Universe.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed.
Do you guys think that's coming, though?
Maybe imminently. I think.
Stuart imminently?
Oh, God, I wish I would put him on a Justice League book.
Yeah.
If, after Absolute Power, that would take, so what's the main book? 6 issues, you said?
4.
4 issues. Do we know the publishing schedule of it? Twice a month or?
No. Probably monthly, if I had to guess.
Because in my mind, it's like, if DC does something big, it's September. Because that's usually when their big things happen. That's, New 52, Forever Evil. They typically end for end of August, early September for that. They've done that a couple of times. Because it's usually the fallout of whatever their summer event is.
Well, July 2nd is when the first issue of this comes out. And then, I could reasonably see a 4-issue mini ending by September.
Yeah.
So maybe there's something to what you're saying. It's reasonable. We got a lot of comments on this subject. You guys are the best. I love this audience. Let's hit some comments on the matter. MP said there is one thing that will automatically make me pull a Justice League book if Oracle's on the team as Data Central again, like in Morrison's run. I do like that. Man, it's so tough with Barbara Gordon because the fans of Barbara Gordon are like split, and it's like no matter what choice you make with that character, people will hate it.
People are out there being like, "Yo, put her back in the chair." I'm like, "Yo, wow, jeez."
Chill.
It's bizarre to me. Yeah. Wow.
Amin says, "Do you need to explain it?" In reference to the Ultimate Universe. Do you need to explain it? Why is DC so obsessed to give in-universe explanations? Just say new line in 3 months. Enjoy. I'm with you.
I think because they are so into the multiverse and they have been for decades, yeah. Before multiverse was a common lingo word, that they tried to justify it to be within that. I guess maybe there's an out for a crossover eventually. That's why. But I agree. I think they could just be like, all right, here's this new line with new creator. Like if they say, hey, Scott Snyder's doing this new line with new young talent, that's enough for me to be like, all right, I'm interested.
I think Flashpoint was hurt a lot by the fact that it had to explain the New 52's arrival. It didn't make any sense.
Yeah, I think the New 52 was hurt a lot by Flashpoint.
And that was a mandate that came from on high. Like, that didn't have to happen. Flashpoint was initially supposed to be not that.
Then it eventually led to a horrible Flash movie.
And several other Flash storylines that made no sense.
Marowak Oscuro says, I don't see Johnson, Philip Kennedy Johnson, before I'm seeing Williamson in JLA and Wade in Action Comics. Yeah, I've always felt like Williamson was next up on Justice League. I think, I think if there was a Justice League right after Dark Crisis, he would have been the writer for sure. And I still think that he's probably booked in that position. So Philip Kennedy Johnson's my hope, but Williamson is I would say, if I had to put money on it, I would put it on Williamson.
The logical choice there. He doesn't connect with me. I feel like I haven't been engrossed in one of his books yet.
Williamson.
Yeah.
I'm a Williamson fan, so I'm pretty excited for it. Marco, I would recommend Ghosted if you want to read some fun Williamson. Ghosted. It's a ghost hunter's detective book sort of thing. But like, so I was thinking about like where's Mark Waid been since, or when was the last time he was at DC? And the last time I can remember it before he came back was 52, the weekly series, which is generally pretty damn good for having 5 different writers and multiple artists on it in terms of a narrative flow. There's a part of me that wonders, could you make Justice League like that? Could you make Justice League a multi-writer thing? I'm thinking maybe was it Big Time, Sean, or The Gauntlet with Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Big Time.
Yeah. So with, the multiple writers, they were each writing their own, arc of Spider-Man, based on a villain. Because I think, honestly, we could reestablish some Justice League villains as well. Mm-hmm. It's been multiversal threat after multiversal threat after like Wade and Mora did Amazo and World's Finest, because that is a classic Justice League villain that I don't really think we've tackled. If I see Psycho Pirate again, as much as I love him, I'm gonna freak out.
Well, yeah, I think the thing is, like, the league needs to do something, for a lack of a better term, like Hickman level seriousness. Like Avengers. What's the big one? Avengers World. Serious,
Sure,
and something that doesn't necessarily just boil down to a villain, because like I think these characters at this point especially are a bit too sophisticated in a team specifically to just fight a villain. You know what I mean?
Oh, they need a Justice League villain, not a villain from a Superman or from a Batman to carry over.
Well, they need a complex situation.
I don't think that the Justice League makes any sense at all if they're just fighting like regular, because Superman himself is so unbelievably powerful that he can solo most villains. Sure. So I'm not interested in a low scale Justice League book.
I like what the idea of Cale's bringing up, where like there is a Justice League world in a way, because I think that's where Justice Gang could work. If Justice League, Superman, Wonder Woman, they're dealing with the higher level protecting Earth threats, but they realize, Titans were actually onto something here. They were, helping these smaller places in Borneo or whatever, and fixing things in like on a lower grounded level thing. What if Titans becomes a subsidiary of the Justice League that's more ground level focused? What if Justice Gang falls in here somewhere? I would also like to see an Injustice League. I think Snyder was the last one to do it, but that got a little nuts towards the end. But when you can mix and match those villains, I think that's pretty fun too.
But I don't think I'm interested in like a smaller events going on there. I think that they're beyond the capacity of that, unless you're changing the perspective or the outward appearance of what you want the league to be. If it's like, we're here and we're here to do good and goodwill and all those kind of things, then I think that can work. But just off of the first issue or two from Titans, like that fell flat because the threats felt minimal.
It also fell flat because the league was still there.
That too, yeah. And so I don't know if that would, excite Kenny Degree. That would be just like, oh my god, Superman could put out the fire with his breath, like problem solved.
But think about something like Justice League Unlimited, the animated series. You've got Wonder Woman teaming up with Hawk and Dove, and they go to, some war-torn country that's experiencing, like a really complicated civil war, and Hawk and Dove are trying to, figure out like a peaceful scenario. And the plan is to use Wonder Woman as like an ambassador, of goodwill or whatever. But she's going through her own rage issues, and shit, there's Ares. Something, when you spin stuff out like that and kind of do like what Tyler's suggesting, you can also get these interesting team ups and get little lenses on characters that don't get it very often, but you can also build at the same time to a bigger conflict.
And with that, I'm envisioning like what happened in X-Men, with Apocalypse and them in fucking suits, and they're like, okay, I I see that, I can see, because I think that is a different, again, but that's also a different perspective on the team. It's not necessarily the superheroics, it's like the status that they carry as these individuals, and I think that's interesting. I think that can play.
Yeah.
And I also think like the Young Justice show, like the Justice League was a full-on league.
Yeah.
There were members all over the place, and it has been like that in the comics before too. Justice League Detroit was a thing. Justice League Dark is a thing. Making it this global brand that has multiple teams that have individual mission objectives and levels. Is the way I like the Justice League. Have Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman around to defend the world from whatever PKJ is cooking up with his old god stuff. I know Cole mentions here the Ulgrin subplot that he teased when we did that interview. Like that seems like a Trinity level league threat, but like there's still going to be smaller things that Superman might not be able to handle because he's busy. If only we had another Superman. No way.
But there's the Titans for that. Like there are other teams.
Sure.
The league has to be the league.
I agree.
And I don't think, like Amin says, I hope Justice League doesn't become an event platform. I want a Justice League run that's compelling on its own. You can do both. It's just that writers haven't chosen to for whatever reason. Yeah. You can absolutely do both. The proof is in the pudding. There are decades worth of stories from both teams of the Avengers. Forget it. The Avengers books by Bendis were anti big multiversal crazy threats. It was hard boiled storytelling, issue over issue, character work that can be done with the league.
And I know you and I, Sean, harp on it constantly, but like the Sentry is a perfect representation of what can be done with that. Have smaller plots in the background, but the Sentry is like, this is a bomb waiting to explode that is going to be a bigger issue down the line, and it was.
Yeah. Any other good comments before we move forward?
CU50 just says bring back the Crime Syndicate, and I don't know, man. I'm a little tired with the Crime Syndicate.
I'm happy with what we got from Johns in Forever Evil.
And I think Ultraman's dead right now too. So
how long ago was that though?
New 52.
Almost a decade, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a long ass time ago.
You're totally right. I mean, I'm not gonna bitch about it if they decide to bring the Crime Syndicate back, because I love those characters.
Yeah.
I'm just in some cases, I think some concepts like work and then they don't. Like Venom to me got a lot less interesting after the very first, like his first time going after Spider-Man. Because it's like, all right, I already saw this. Like you stalked, you did all this, we beat you, that's it. And I sort of feel like that with the Crime Syndicate, but hey, why not? Someone wants to bring them back.
Oh, yeah. You're saying if they come back, like it's cool the first time, there's novelty, and then
diminishing returns.
Sure.
Yeah.
Especially since we've had so many the bad version of the superhero out there.
Yeah.
You can make 5 different iterations of the Crime Syndicate with established characters at this point.
Q Lumbo said, I'm done with evil version of a hero in general, TBH. So there you go. I wanted to get to another DC announcement that was made at Comics Pro, which was the fact that DC announced that their comics are going to be going back to Wednesday releases. Wednesday Warriors Rise Up, because DC is doing us a solid. They're helping us out by making it so that all comics, all floppies are coming out on the same day. DC, of course, made the change to Tuesdays back in 2020, the height of the pandemic, when they separated from Diamond. That was one of the things that they chose to do, to make the release of the floppy and their trades and Omnibuy and everything else in line with the rest of pretty much the rest of publishing outside of comics. And I think that alienated and upset a lot of people. I know that it upset me. A lot of retailers were upset by this. It causes a huge problem for retailers. So I think this is this is an industry, an industry-friendly decision on their part.
Net good.
This does not affect, though, their non-floppy releases. So everything but a weekly comic is coming out on Tuesday still.
I think that's fine.
I think that's for the book channel.
Yeah. And that's always been for the book channel too. Like Tuesday is the day books come out. So
yep. So I'm good with that.
CU50 in the chat says, no, not Wednesday. I prefer Tuesday.
As somebody that reads digitally and reads for Pals polls, I preferred Tuesday too.
Same.
Gave me an extra day to catch up on stuff.
Do what I do and read it all an hour before the show.
Typical writer mentality there, Cale.
Why do you think my opinions are so bad?
But I do like how this is better for shops. Shops used to just I know a lot of comic shops I know are closed on Mondays because or they're closed on a single day of the week, so they can do everything for that week that day.
Inventory.
Yeah, exactly. And the extra day of I have to do this on a separate day. It complicated things. So.
Lumbo says, and I just got used to Tuesday. Oh, DC, you rapscallions.
Indeed. Indubitably.
But isn't that the nature of a comic book fan, right? It's been 4 years and Q Lumbo said he just got used to it. That's how it is. We're so trained to do one thing. I literally never, ever, ever went to the comic shop on Tuesday to pick up a DC book. And I never would have. If DC book, if you could only get DC books on Tuesday and no other day, it was not possible. I just wouldn't read DC anymore.
Yeah, I got stuff to do.
Sean, since you bought physically, were you ever did you ever not get a book because you went on Wednesday?
Yep. I can't remember which, but absolutely yes.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Makes sense. Especially if a big book comes out that week.
Mm-hmm.
Amin
says, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was saying Ultimate Black Panther is the one I remember, but that's Marvel, so that doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's happened to me several times. Amin says, when are they coming back to affordable releases? Glad you said that. So at Comics Pro, one of the topics was the affordability or lack thereof in comics. And Marvel had something to say about that. They said, get this, they said they are holding the line at $3.99.
Fuck off, they didn't.
Except
for
first issues, miniseries, events, and anything that they deem to be special. So, what's special?
Issue 2.
Well, we pay the Hickman tax. we pay the Hickman tax. So that's already what it is. There's not going to be a $3.99 Jonathan Hickman comic probably. Yep. Whenever Donny Cates gets around to writing again, I'm sure we're going to pay the Donny Cates tax. And quite frankly, look at Marvel's publishing line. How many books are miniseries? A lot.
So whether they market it that way or not,
Yeah, they basically told you that if you want Jackpot number 7, it'll be $3.99. Have fun.
Yep.
if it even gets that far.
Listen, every Avengers title is an event in itself. So,
yeah, they basically said nothing. But for DC's part, they literally said nothing. And they did nothing. And I suspect that we will be seeing a price increase soon. I mean, DC already has, you know, the thicker covers, you know, with the different art that they charge $1 more for.
They don't give a fuck. They started that conversation, and all DC did was sit in the room, sweating, fidgeting in their chair.
Yeah, they clapped along as everybody else was.
Oh yeah. Oh,
wow! Hold the line. Whoa, that's crazy.
Oh, that's clever. Who came up with that?
Yo, Columbo goes Marvel. Every issue is special to us.
Oh man, gotta love it. But since we're on the subject, and I couldn't find another way to fit this in, I will quickly say that Marvel did also announce that they will be putting out free comics. Marvel's going to be putting out free comics that are like 3 comics in one. So 3 relevant, 3-ish. I don't have the article right in front of me. Relevant comics, books that they deem important, that readers who aren't necessarily tapped in, more film focused people, that these are free books that when they go to the shop they'll have access to. So I think the most recent one had the one they teased had a Deadpool book in it, Spider-Man book in it, and I can't remember the other one. But
so the old the first hit is free idea.
Hell yeah, bro, it works.
Not a bad idea. I mean, whether or not people
come, she was 15 years too late.
Yeah, word. And whether or not people actually come because of the movies is another thing. Like, so you might be giving these books to people who already own these books.
This feels like something that gets shoved into people who have polls.
Yeah.
So here's what the first one is. It's Spider-Man Deadpool #1 from 2016. Joe Kelly and Ed McGuinness. That's hot. Immortal Thor #2. That's super random. But that's, I mean, it's a great issue. It's a great comic. It's just kind of random that.
Wait, of this current run?
Yes.
Oh.
And then Miss Marvel, the New Mutant #1. So that makes sense.
That was good.
Good choices.
All
and
right.
It's totally free.
They need to.
It's already out.
They need to put those in stands right next to the door.
Yeah.
Honestly, those should be at like Barnes and Nobles too.
Yeah. Outside the door so people walking by can just pick it up.
Yeah, the vestibule where everyone farts in.
Yep.
Yeah. Amin said Immortal Hulk. No, it's Immortal Thor. I'm looking at it right now.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's all the Comics Pro stuff that we have time for. And yeah, DC's Absolute Power is the next event, so get ready for that. I'm pretty excited for it. What I'm also excited for is the rest of the show, because we have a lot more irons in the fire. Big fish to fry. We're going to talk all about the Scout Comics controversy here in a little bit. We have a lot to say on that subject. And it's a biggie. And then, of course, the big X-Men news that we're going to get into. We got games to play, all that stuff here on the Comics Pals. Patreon.com/The Comics Pals is the best way to support us. This podcast is funded by you, the audience. And every dollar and cent that we get from your support goes right back into the show, goes right back into production elements. We've got big, yeah, well,
little pistachios.
Is that the transaction I saw on the card, Marco?
Huh?
If you want to put more pistachios in Marco's mouth, join us on patreon.com/The Comics Pals, where you can also, you're muted, Cale.
Dang it. We do have a special tier for putting, you can really put those pistachios in Marco's mouth.
The OF tier?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I appreciate you guys' ability to not say nuts in Marco's mouth, because I don't have that. I don't have that ability.
We're dancing around it, Tyler.
I can't help myself.
Dude, you remember how on Thursday on Palace Polls I showed off the at the end of Birds of Prey, the
the
birds
underwear
in their swimsuits. Yeah. YouTube dinged us for that.
Really?
They definitely did, yeah. They definitely did. And you see, guys, this is why. This is why we talk about the Patreon. This is why we talk about all that, because you just can't trust it. YouTube could demonetize us because I showed Big Bart in a swimsuit on Thursday. You know what I'm saying? This is the shit that we're dealing with. Every time, you curse in the first 7 seconds of a video, YouTube gets up your butt. So you got to be so careful. We appreciate everybody who helps us out. You guys are amazing, and I do want to shout you all out right now. So special shout out to the best pals in the universe, Thunderstruck Rebecca Alejandro, the Hound of Justice Atomic Hound, Starcross Catherine Stars, and the Red Spiral Storm. And also I want to say thank you to the Night Stalker Harris Dajinski, Brian Demolisher Del Pozo, Kefis the Incorruptible, Momentum Mike Elliott, Dan the Truth Trudeau, Joel Justice, Jalen the Sanguine Sorcerer, Marley Manastorm, Slow Flow Dameron, Amin, Almighty Perez, Pete the Dreamweaver Collins, Christian, Uncaged Harriet, and Always Laughing. Thank you so much. We appreciate you all. Y'all are amazing. Make sure that you guys check out the 5G Files deep dive that we just put out. It is a compilation of our 5G Files coverage from last year, where we went over what could have been, what the plans were for Dan Didio's 5G. I mean, my man Dan went nuts. He had a whole, not literally nuts, but like he had a huge whiteboard with all his big plans, the different eras, when every character debuted. It was wild. And we tackle every single known fact or fiction about what 5G would have been, and we put it all together. It was a lot of fun to do. So check that out if you haven't seen it. And then the other thing I would like to get to, if we can, real quick, is, of course, the listener pick poll, which is, it goes up every single Thursday, 5 p.m., just before Pals Pulls. And I want to go over the books this week because we have some bangers. So we've got Immortal Thor number 8, which was winning the poll when we talked about it on Thursday.
Wow.
Now it is not. 29% of the vote. Action Comics 1063 actually has 35% of the vote.
No way. Whoa.
Yep.
I need y'all Thor heads to show up.
That's right.
Well, Thor's on 2 covers this week because he's also on the cover of Avengers Twilight number 4.
Don't pick the wrong one.
Damn,
which has 25% of the vote. And then Amazing Spider-Man has a paltry 11% of the vote. No one in our audience, you guys just don't like Spider-Man.
Yeah, I'm right with that. I'm tired of it.
I know where my vote's going.
Where? Tell the listeners.
Well, the RFK Jr. of the poll, Amazing Spider-Man number 45.
Yeah.
He's real street level. He really speaks to me.
Wow. Yeah, so cast your vote. YouTube.com/thecomicspals under the community tab. Yeah. Big books, big business. Big business. All right. We've got one listener comment to get to this week. Thank you to everybody who's written in over the last couple of weeks. You guys, so many comments about Sal, about Brian Edward Hill.
My man could be Blade.
He doesn't want to see himself in his comics, though. So
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Which I appreciated that mentality. I know everybody likes to self-insert. That's cool. I appreciate Brian Edward Hill saying, look, I'm not sexy enough. I'm not cool enough to be in a comic book. Let's get these people, that like Blade. Let's get Blade. Let's get these cool ass, sexy ass characters. Right?
Not no man's thinking about a spoon.
But we did want to get to one listener comment that's very significant to me, and I'm sure at least Cale and Mark. Yeah. Go ahead, Tyler.
William B. Emailed us. Is that right, Sean? Was this the email? Yeah. Mm-hmm. William B. emailed us at contact@thecomicspals.com. It's always great to hear a Brian Edward Hill interview. It's a bit nostalgic for me since I remember being a new fan of the Comics Pals when he first came on. I was so hungry for creator interviews and whatever content I could find to educate myself in the comic book industry. Listening to your interview has also triggered some self-reflection about how my life in the world has changed since those SoundCloud days. Anyway, thanks for another great episode, pals. I hope to finally meet you at a convention someday. Peace.
That is a part of Will's message. We cut out the private stuff that I don't think, was meant for the air. But Will is an aspiring comics creator. And when we first started the podcast many moons ago, Will was one of the first people that we heard from. And when he says SoundCloud, our show used to be posted there. He used to leave comments, and he told us about the early stages of his journey. That's like almost 8 years ago now. And without giving too much away, he did say that things are looking up. Things are looking really great. So really happy for Will. I can't wait to see what you end up doing. And I would love to see you at a con one day. I would love to shake your hand, and I would love to get your book whenever you get that out.
He, if I remember correctly, had something come out as part of like an Ahoy Ashcan or collection. This was a few years back. But yeah, looking forward to the next set, man. Keep it going, keep trucking, and output. That's all it is, baby.
Yeah. Self says everyone self inserts. That's the writing process. No, that's not what I'm talking about. Brian was talking about appearance, like writing his physical self into the books.
Well, he did make a comment on also like not like professing his philosophies as well. He tries to remove like, this is my perspective. This is I'm gonna come in to it from a not neutral, as neutral as he can be.
He's writing who the character is.
Yeah.
And I think it's a skill to tap into a character and not tap into yourself. Like, yeah, aspects of yourself will always make it into whatever it is you do. But I personally don't want to read a Blade who talks like Brian Hill or looks like him. It's just not what I'm reading comics for.
I can barely look at myself in the mirror, let alone put myself in a book.
So thanks a lot, Will, for writing in. Really appreciate that. And I love when we get emails from you guys. YouTube comments are great. Discord's great. I like an email.
I sometimes get wary. I'm like, is this a spam one? Oh, no, this is actually someone actually wrote this. Okay.
Right?
I like an iTunes review, which you can still do, and somehow it still helps.
Yeah, and throw those likes on this video too, by the way.
Spotify as well. You can actually do comments on Spotify. There's a whole thread you can do on Spotify if that's your bag.
Joel holds it down there.
Yeah.
We have a new game to debut. We have a brand new game to play. This one generated by Cale. And we're going to workshop it live. We have not played this game before privately. We don't even know what's going to happen. So I'm going to turn it over to Cale, who's going to explain the game, and then we're going to dive right in. And I want you guys to pay special attention. If there is an avenue for audience participation, we're going to need that. And we need to know if you enjoy this game. So Cale, take it away.
Right. So this game is called Comic-Con. I'm going to hold a comic convention, but I'm only allowing certain categories of things. So, for example, I'm thinking of throwing a comic convention where all of the characters are related to things that are green. So Sean might say, can I bring a Green Lantern? Absolutely, Sean, you can come. Marco might say, can I bring a Red Devil? No, Marco, you can't come.
Oof.
Keep him out of here.
Damn.
Tyler might say, could I bring Kermit the Frog? I would say, yes, Tyler, absolutely bring my best friend Kermit the Frog. Marco, again, might say, what about a Blue Devil? And I'll say, Marco, if you step 1 foot into my convention with that Blue Devil, the things I will do to you. No, you cannot come.
But I'm not violent.
That's it.
But I'm not a violent guy.
I'm not a violent man. And that's the game. The game is to so you guys will all have to figure out what category of thing I'm thinking of.
Okay.
So I won't be thinking of a specific character necessarily. It might be inspired by a specific character, but it will be a quality more than one specific person.
Sounds good.
And are we asking to bring characters, or can we be like, can I bring a mini series? Like, are they that big of an idea, or are we doing specifically characters?
I think maybe once we get into it, I think we could work our way there. Yeah.
Okay. So just characters for now then. Okay. Okay. I like this.
Yeah.
Pattern recognition. Yep.
So I have one, and if you guys think of one, as we go along and we finish rounds, you guys can maybe throw your own Comic-Con.
Start us up.
I'm ready. I'm throwing a comic convention. You guys can come if you can bring the right thing.
Can I? I guess I'll go, and then we'll just.
Please.
Can I bring Wildcat?
Yeah, you could bring Wildcat.
Okay.
Ooh.
So Tyler's out. He's good. He's in.
Well,
no, we're gonna keep going to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we have to figure out what the
figure out.
is.
Oh, okay,
what the category is.
Got you.
Can I bring Darkseid?
No, don't bring Darkseid. Absolutely not. You can't come.
Can I bring Superman?
Nope.
Okay.
Superman is not allowed.
Can I bring Our Man?
Nope. No Our Man.
Can I bring Raphael from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
No, absolutely not.
Can I bring a Nightwing?
Nope. Don't you dare bring Nightwing. Unless, and that's all I'm going to give you.
Ooh, wait. Okay, Wildcat, Nightwing.
You're going to have to work real hard to track that backward, though.
Street level?
Can I bring Red Hood?
No, don't you dare bring Red Hood.
Can I bring Barbara Gordon?
Yeah, you can bring Barbara Gordon.
That Nightwing angle was interesting.
Can I bring Dick Grayson?
Is that a different question?
Can I bring Rick Grayson?
No, don't bring Rick Grayson.
Okay. I think that's established. We don't ever want to see Rick Grayson in anything, even outside of the game.
You know what? Don't bring Dick Grayson.
Marco? All right, Marco's playing with his cat. Can I bring Alfred?
No, don't bring Alfred.
Interesting. Okay.
Can I bring Bruce Wayne?
You could bring Bruce Wayne. Yeah.
Can I bring Jim Gordon?
Whoa. What the fuck?
My bad.
Go ahead, Tyler.
Can I bring Plastic Man?
No, don't bring Plastic.
Okay.
No, it has to be a Bat Family. I'm thinking
Wildcat, not really Bat Family.
Oh.
You're thinking to Marvel's included here, is what I'll say. Don't forget, I'm thinking category of.
Yeah. I was thinking people that have beat up Batman.
Well, I do love that, but that's not it.
Yeah. Okay.
In that case, can I bring Daredevil? Okay.
You can, Marco, my man. You can absolutely come.
And how do we announce when we think the category? We know the category.
If you've got it, do it.
Okay.
Wait, no, I should ask first. Can I bring Professor Xavier?
No, don't bring Professor Xavier.
Okay.
Can I guess the Comic-Con?
Yeah, if you want. If you got it.
Is this a boxing related Hero Comic-Con?
No. Damn. No, absolutely not.
Is this a street level related Comic-Con?
Nope.
No, because Dick Grayson could. I mean, Nightwing is street level.
Yeah, but so can Batman.
I'm in guest animal themed characters. And that's not it.
Daredevil being the animal of the
spiritual animal.
Yeah, the Tasmanian devil from Hell's Kitchen. Huh.
You could bring Daredevil. Oh, is the category characters that wear or are represented by the color red?
Nope. That character Bruce Wayne, who's represented by the color red.
Bruce was allowed in.
Cale, when I said Wildcat, were you thinking of male or female?
Both.
Both. Okay.
Can I bring Peter Parker?
No, don't you dare bring Peter Parker.
Can I bring Director Bones?
No.
Wait, no, I'll guess again. Can I bring Damian Wayne?
How old is he?
His current age.
No, don't do it.
Is this a comic book fight club?
No.
Damian Wayne would be allowed in a fight club.
Well, I mean, there might be an age limit.
My man was on a fight island.
Try and keep him out.
Can I bring Iron Fist?
No.
Fuck. Just when I think I got it.
I know, right?
So Dan, we could bring Daredevil, Wildcat, and Barbara Gordon and Bruce Wayne. That's who we've gotten so far.
Nightwing too.
No, Nightwing was a no. Well, Nightwing was a soft no.
Unless something.
Characters that fucked in the comics? I don't know.
Black Cat cannot come. Spiral Storm. C50 Chad Paul. Listen, I'm not going to be able to keep Chad Paul out, but I will not invite him.
Classy Ulysses says Mary Jane Watson.
No. Is that who that is?
I believe so.
I didn't know that. I thought they were separate.
Can I bring Poison Ivy?
Ooh, he's struggling on this one.
I don't think so, but there is particular art of Poison Ivy, and I'm not being perverted here. There are versions of Poison Ivy that you could bring.
What the?
Can I bring Pamela Isley?
No.
This got weird quick.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, character Scott Blair has drawn.
Maybe try and think outside the big two.
Can I bring Hellboy?
Yeah, you could bring Hellboy.
Can I bring Darth Vader?
No, don't bring Darth Vader.
CW or CU50 says Black Canary.
Nope, don't do it.
What the fuck?
Can I bring
I think I might have gone. I'm not thinking of a certain person. You guys just your guesses, your corrects are spot on. You just haven't nailed down the category.
What?
Yeah. Marco said Daredevil, and it was exactly what I was thinking of.
What? What is Daredevil?
Can I bring
it's
religious guilt-based heroes?
Ooh. Heroes who don't have powers.
No.
Fuck.
No, Daredevil has powers.
Well, but like he's. Oh yeah, I guess I was. Yeah, that's right.
The character you mentioned, and then followed up with a completely false statement. Like if you said, "Oh, Bruce Wayne doesn't have powers," yeah, I got you.
What about? Because they're not in. They're in a city. Okay, Daredevil's in a city, street level.
I agree with Amin. We need a clue.
If you give us another character, maybe that.
It's a costume-based category.
Characters with gauntlets?
Daredevil doesn't have gauntlets.
Oh, true. He's got like UFC
characters
gloves.
with emblems.
Nope.
Wildcat doesn't have that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, characters with the horns.
Dan guessed it ages ago.
Really?
Nice.
And I really wanted.
I was trying to avoid the chat.
I really wanted to I didn't want to just give it away, but I'm sitting here looking at the chat going, that's it.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, Dan got it. Dan was confused because he'd already guessed it.
The Dick Grayson one is because
he has been Batman.
And with I guess they're not exclusively horns, but they are horn elements on a cow.
If you'd said somewhat, like Spock, I would have counted because of his ears.
With pointy head parts.
Sure.
Yeah.
Specifically, I was thinking of horns or.
Got it. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
And I guess Poison Ivy has had like antlers at one point, I believe.
Well, I was even thinking of like old style Poison Ivy who has like a wreath around her head.
Were you?
I was counting like the leaves.
When you gave us the explanation of the game, and you mentioned both blue and red devil, was that a clue?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Oh,
you got horny on the mind. Got it.
I just didn't want to. I didn't want to give him Swamp Thing immediately. I'm always trying to take Swamp Thing away from Marco.
give it to me.
That's it. That's Comic-Con.
That was good.
That's fun.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like it.
20 questions type.
Add it to the wheel.
Manny Wildcat, I think, because like the ears can be
Yeah, it depends on how he's drawn.
right.
Yeah, I think I've seen him with horns at one point too, or something
That's just
similar
sort
to
of
Batman.
pointy. Yeah.
Brave and the Bold. He definitely had that.
Yep. That's what I'm thinking of.
I was also at a certain point. Let's see if he's here. Where is he at on the screen? At a certain point, I was looking at Goku too, trying to.
This fucking spiky hair.
Oh my god. Chat, what do you think? That was fun, huh? I like it. I like it a lot, actually.
Ooh,
Yo,
would have
I got
fun
one that I can do
hosting
right
the
now
con.
that you'll never guess.
No.
Is it Swamp Thing characters?
We'll definitely play it again. It's in the rotation. Amin says, "Let's see Sean's Comic-Con."
Jean Grey and Jean
Can
Grey.
we let Sean play a game for
Jean
once?
Grey variants?
I feel like Sean's always got to host the game. I want you to play the game.
Time to play the game. I mean, I just played the game.
Exactly. Yeah.
lost the
That's
game.
why I like having a game that you can play.
We'll do it in the future. I mean, no, we got it. If Amin wants it done, we got to do it. We'll do it real fast. We'll do it quick. You want my Comic-Con? We'll do it. I have an idea already. You guys want to come to my Comic-Con? Then hit me.
Can I bring Professor Xavier?
Yes.
Can I bring Cyclops?
Yeah.
Can I bring Black Panther? Ooh, this sounds like a racist con.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I like where this is going.
Race is not a factor. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no.
No. Okay, got it.
Can I bring Captain America?
Yes.
Are you sure this isn't a race thing?
Definitely not.
Can I bring Luke Skywalker?
Nah.
Okay. Can I bring team leader tacticians?
That's your guess?
That's my guess. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
No. Okay.
Can I bring Batman?
No.
Can I bring is it people with superpowers?
No. No, it's not.
Tyler, what did you say? Batman?
No,
Kelsey
I said Batman.
I
You
just
said
guessed.
Batman. Black Panther. Can I bring Wolverine?
No.
Spiral Storm West again. Can I bring Paul? And again, listen, you can't stop him from coming.
And you mean that in more than one way.
He'll get kicked out. Paul will get kicked out.
Can I bring Glob Herman?
No. Sylph says Storm. Yeah, you can bring Storm.
No Wolverine?
Damn. Can you bring Storm? I think so.
It's not dude's night.
No. It's not a sausage fest.
Can I bring
Team leaders.
No. I'll give you guys a hint because we have a lot of show to do. It is a trait that a person could have. Something that affects others.
That just threw me off completely.
There's a character you guys could say that would pretty much give it away instantaneous.
Can I bring Superman?
You can bring Superman.
And characters that inspire hope?
Yep.
Woo! Okay. Oh, yeah, that's why Batman's a no. Yeah.
Man, I don't know if Professor X is there anymore. I think he's dropped off of that.
Professor X, I mean, there wouldn't be a mutant kind without him.
I mean, he inspired hope when he started Krakoa.
Dan asked, can I bring my mother-in-law?
That is now for you to answer, Dan.
Well, let me not speak on that. But
you can't bring my mother-in-law.
I can't bring my mother-in-law.
I no longer have one.
You liked yours.
Yeah, that's true.
I like mine. I just like messing with her.
Unbelievable. All right. That's the new game. Seems like some of you enjoyed it. We'll play it again. It'll come around again when we spin the wheel.
Slap it on the wheel.
Yeah.
And now that we had fun.
Let's talk about...
We'll play around after this.
Let's talk about Scout Comics and the controversy surrounding this publisher. This has been a big deal this week. This is, I feel like every other week there's a topic in comics that like just takes over comics Twitter, and this was that. So Scout Comics has recently come under fire for a variety of issues. So if you've never heard of Scout before, they are a small press publisher. They've been called Scout Comics since 2015, but they had another name before that, so they're not like new. But even if you only take them as Scout, they've been around for about a decade.
Yeah.
Scout is largely run by creators themselves, people who have, put out small press books, dabbled here or there with, things you might have heard of, but it is a company that likes to tout itself as by creators for creators type of thing. So they haven't had, I wouldn't say they've had any like major hits, anything that, you would definitely know if I said it. I think their biggest book is Stabbity Bunny. So, clear, none of us know what that is, right?
No.
I feel like I've heard of it, actually.
Yeah, we get those press emails from them.
That's true.
I've seen some.
Right. I'm not sure if we've reviewed a Scout book personally, like on the show. It's not for any reason. I'm trying to illuminate that they're a small publisher, right?
Yeah.
We did do a Scout Comics book. It was Forever Forward #1. Remember when I had to get the digital copy and it was the version that was that had the edit, like the editor notes in it?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Oh yeah, that was bungled on their part. The digital.
Yeah. And it was hard to get because I had to go on their website and pay directly, and
yeah. So this week, a bunch of comic book creators who work for Scout have come out and they have, been open and honest about their experience, which for many has been very negative. And I would say that this really started in earnest with Jared Lujan. And he kicked this off in late February 28th, with a tweet that said, if you are a new creator, please avoid Scout Comics like the plague. They haven't paid me for a book out over a year. Won't answer emails. We delivered a completed, profitable book and still got screwed. Spoke to the editorial director and he implied we'd be blacklisted for complaining. The CEO came in acting like he'd help, and now he's ghosting us too. If it's like that at the top, you know why everything else sucks. I've tried for a year to work with these people, and it's clear they have no intention of working with us. Nothing resembling a partnership. I also got a single statement about book sales and not a single one since. Can't promote books, can't pay creators, but they got a full whatnot schedule. My last email a month ago was, hey, can you just cancel our contract and we can move past the money you owe me? And they still didn't answer. That would have cost $0 for whatever it's worth. Yeah. If you love a Scout book, consider buying it directly from creators, probably the best bet for them to get paid for their labor. So Jared is accusing Scout of a very, very, very common thing in comics. And I want to stress that point. If you are a comics creator and you have worked for a publisher, it is very, very, very likely that you have been stiffed on payment, had a struggle with communication, couldn't get your book promoted properly, had to do the legwork, the grunt work on your own. These are things that you've probably dealt with. Maybe Tom King hasn't had that experience, right? Yeah. But like pretty much everyone else has. It's very common.
And especially at the big two, in reference to that last one, doing the legwork and promoting your own book, they are notoriously bad for that.
And I know people who have worked on high like IP books for not big two, but like just below it, who didn't get paid till the book was already out.
Yeah. And also I want to say that I'm pulling largely from incredible work by Heidi McDonald, who is the person that runs and writes a lot for Comics Beat. She's incredible. And also Chris Arant's work from Popverse, both of them have been on point covering this issue. So it started with Jared, but it certainly didn't end with him, because several more creators from Scout reached out and said very, very, very similar things. I'm not going to go over everybody's account, but you get the point. One creator did say the following, quote, "Where was this accountability when we repeatedly asked for details and figures and were instead greeted with anger, denied a contract termination unless we paid $75,000 for a huge overprint we didn't ask for. This is a company full of grifters. Don't believe a word of this at all." That's in response to Scout's response to the public about this issue. So I'm going to read a little bit of Scout's response. Scout started as and remains a comic company created by and for creators. We love comics. We love reading comics, making them, and publishing comics for other creators. We love the comics community. While Scout has always striven to maintain high levels of service to our teams, recently a creative team expressed their frustration publicly due to not having had a response to their concerns in several months. This is true. We dropped the ball by failing to respond in a timely manner. We take responsibility for our lack of response at that time due to internal miscommunication. Regardless, we will continue to strive to do better and improve communication with all our creators. Despite the complaints we have seen online, Scout has had very few creators reach out to us directly with their concerns. We have actually had several creators reach out and support, which we appreciate. As with all business, there will be missteps. The most important thing is to learn. And then they give the ability to reach out to their COO and all that garbage. Here's the thing on that response. It's this line. It's this line that really fucks me up. Despite the complaints we have seen online, Scout has had very few creators reach out to us directly with concerns. We have actually had several creators reach out and support, which we appreciate. So, you are a small publisher, and you appeal to people who are trying to make their bones in comics. People who have had very limited success prior, right? Jared has done very well for himself. Jared is talented, and Jared is very smart. The book that Jared got stiffed on in this case is actually a book that was very successful on Kickstarter. All the Devils Are Here. It made $8,000 on Kickstarter in 2021.
Wow.
But this is the kind of creator you're appealing to, making their bones. You threatened to blacklist them. That's what Jared said, and Jared's not the only one. You threaten to blacklist them when they call you with a concern, when they reach out, or you just don't respond at all. So if a small creator thinks that you're not going to respond to them anyway, and you fuck them over, and they're scared that you'll blacklist them if they speak out against you. The least they're going to do, they're not going to come out and say, hey, we were fucked over. They're going to be scared, a lot of them. It takes balls to do that. And yeah, there will be creators who reach out to you to say, hey, you did right by us, whether it's true or not. You know why? Because they're scared too. All those people are scared about their jobs. And that's the reaction that they're having. Jared is done with this shit. He has no more recourse. He's exhausted all his recourses. And it took for him to have the balls to step up and speak on this matter for Scout to say something. And what do they say? Oh, yeah. A couple of people have had a problem. But hey, we've heard from more people who didn't have a problem. Fuck that.
Yeah, I would also point out, how many people is Scout actually working with? Like, they're not a Marvel or a DC where they're, talking about a big pool of creators that would do that. It's, it's the CEO's brother or whatever who has a comic with them that, oh, no, you did right by me. You got my book out. I got paid.
Exactly.
It's a shame that this becomes a response. The response becomes attack the creator,
Right.
on the part of the publisher. There's no ownership. There's no accountability. The fact that you're not responding to emails, I mean, personally, as someone who's like within like client services, like 2 to 3 days is a good amount of time. Like, you should be timely in those things and being able to address concerns, and at the very least you want to assuage any fears, because those are creators that down the line could be you should want to maintain a good relationship. Those could be creators that down the line turn out to really grow, and then you can get them to come back to a Scout to do an indie book or whatever it might be, right? Like, there's avenues for success through that. So it just sucks that they're not thinking in the long term for that either.
But also just be a decent person.
Yeah, that too. Respond to my email, please. Let me know what's going on. I need to know, because maybe this is livelihood. Maybe I put so much money into this, put so much effort into this. Like, where did my energy go?
Dude, you know how that shit works. You're a comic creator, a small up and coming creator. You have to find an artist if you're a writer.
Yep.
You have to work on the book. You have to pay that artist to make that book for you, and then a lot of times you get to present that to a publisher. Mm-hmm. So you're already in the hole. Maybe if you had to pay the artist up front, you're in the hole as the writer.
Yep.
And you're hoping not even to make your money back, because a lot of writers at that level, they say, screw that ain't happening. You hope to get that book out there, and then maybe the next one can be a little bigger, and then maybe on the next one after that, you don't have to pay out of pocket.
Yep.
But if your book never comes out, which a lot of these people alleged, if your book doesn't get any press or publishing, or there's no promotion, like we just don't have time to get into everybody's accounting, but there were creators that said that they had whole trades that were promised to be released that never came out.
Man.
And just from an art standpoint too, like, not being able to put out your work is deflating. Awful. Because it's locked up in contracts and stuff like that. That prevents people from being in comics.
Yeah.
So there's more to the story. Let's talk a little bit more about Scout. Who is Scout? What has happened to cause this? Because Scout has been around, like I said, for a long time. And while, I'm sure that there were problems before, Rich Johnson says he's been hearing about this specific thing for months. I think that there is a very specific reason why this is happening right now. So Scout has had, they've had the revolving door of people in charge, publishers, co-publishers, things of that nature. So right now you have Brendan Deneen, I believe, is the name of the guy that currently runs Scout. Yeah, Brendan Deneen.
Yeah.
And then you have James Hack the third. Now, Charlie Stickney was another person who was a co-publisher at some point, and he left the company in 2022. This is what he said in his farewell letter. Over the last couple of years, and I'm going to stress this, 2022, okay? Keep that in mind. Over the last couple of years, Scout has grown from a small company putting out 6 to 10 titles a month to one that is internationally known with a slate of offerings that can approach 25 books monthly. With several imprints, a toy line, a gaming division, and multiple titles in development as films and television series, and all that growth, I believe the time has come for me to pass the baton to the next person, and what I'm sure will be a very successful future with Scout. What do we know about what happened 2 years before 2022? A pandemic. And what do we know also happened? A false infusion of money into comics. Yeah. So what I think happened is that Scout overexpanded based on what happened during the pandemic, which happened to almost every business. And now Scout does not have the finances to support the expansion that they did.
Yep.
And so that is why Scout has gone all in with Whatnot. Scout is not paying creators. They're ghosting creators, but they sure have the time to get on a Whatnot live stream, which is basically like Twitch. It's like Twitch and like eBay or something like that combined. Is what Whatnot is.
That's right. They had that. Yeah. On New York Comic Con, they were selling that.
Right.
Sounds horrible.
Dude. So, and I think the reason is because they literally don't make enough money anymore to support all these books.
They probably have inventory that has not sold because, to that point, right, you also presumed an increased volume of creators, you print readers, you print against that, and now they have backlog. Now they have extra inventory, that remnant inventory that they need to be able to give out. And so that becomes I wonder if, actually, now that you say that, I wonder if that's why that site is as popular as it is because a lot of users go for it.
I'm sorry. I think Lewis Southard is in the chat right now. And Lewis is one of the creators. I was actually just about to go over to Lewis's accounting. And so thank you, Lewis, for tuning in. Lewis said, former Scout creator here. While I legally can't make new statements anymore, thanks to people like yourselves discussing this controversy, I got my book publishing rights back. Thank you. That is beautiful. I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for you. And I don't know if you feel comfortable with us reading your statement, although I know that you took the steps to make it, legally acceptable, your statement. But if because your matter is resolved, if you would rather we didn't read the statement, that is completely okay. But needless to say, we are fully behind you, in support of you and everybody else who is enduring this right now.
Absolutely.
Lockstep.
Sylv also points out about that timeline you listed, Sean. There was also the major paper shortage.
Yeah.
So if all of that happened and they're also printing books anyway at a massive loss, because of the paper shortage, and they're just demanding books get printed, they're paying extra for that stuff. The money's just going down the drain.
Right.
Sean, it wasn't in the show notes, but do you have the updated Scout Comics news too? Okay.
Yeah, I have everything. Dude, I spent a lot of time on this. And Heidi McDonald did too. And something that she brings up that I think is worth knowing as well. She has been in this industry for decades upon decades, and she's seen a lot of contracts. She said that the contracts from Scout appeared to be fairly standard for that level of creator. There's nothing that she felt was predatory. They don't own the IP in the sense of like if a movie would come of it or a TV show, you're the owner of your property, right? So Heidi says that the Scout Comics contracts aren't bad, but here's the problem: contracts are worth bunk if you cannot afford to pay the dollar amount agreed upon.
Yep.
And contracts are bunk if the book never gets sold, so you can't get any money from the profits. They're saying, hey, we'll pay you a certain amount, a percentage, after we recoup, whatever costs we invested into it, which is pretty standard. But how the hell are they going to recoup that cost if your book is not promoted, if it's not on the slate to be released? It's not going to happen.
Yeah. Amen points out, quote, if an invoice is not paid within the agreed payment terms, it becomes a late payment. This means you have the legal right to claim interest, unquote.
Yep.
To which I responded, but what comic creator is going to go to a lawyer and incur more costs to get that small amount of money?
And I know there are some comic book agents out there that I know people use, and I would recommend that. When you get into the legalese of these things, like I glaze over when I start reading an agreement sometimes.
Yeah.
So
it's really wild. And then the other thing to know about Scout is that Scout has, from what I could ascertain, Scout has imprints, not unlike Image, where it's Image, but you also have Skybound, you have Wildstorm, whatever you have, right?
Yeah.
Scout is similar. So, you're dealing with Scout, but you're also dealing with whatever the culture is of the imprint
shell company,
essentially, right?
Yeah.
And a new comics creator, like, I don't know, you're an artist, man. Like, you're not a lawyer, you're not a seasoned veteran. Like, Tyler's absolutely right. The problem comes in that a lot of these people are passion and nothing else. Passion and talent. Like, I'm just saying, like, they don't have the knowledge of how you can get screwed over. I'm sure a lot of these people won't let this happen again. I hope. But you trust a publisher to do right by you, and then they do the exact opposite.
Lewis says previously made statements are okay to read, just can't make new ones. Thanks for asking.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you, Lewis. So yeah, let's read a little bit from what Lewis had said. A couple of years back, I wasn't happy with my place and future in this hypothetical publisher, Ranger Comics. Okay, Ranger Comics, not Scout Comics, if we're all on the same page. Given my experience with the now defunct Action Lab, I figured it was best to speak to those in charge. I was met with statements that I would basically never work in comics again. I was unfollowed or blocked online by those who claim in today's current discourse, in reference to Scout's response, Ranger's response, that they are open to discussion and compromise. Ask anyone working in comics. I do not enjoy internet feuds or drama, as I mainly exist online to promote my books. However, I would not be writing this if I didn't believe there was a serious problem, and I don't want to see it downplayed or forgotten or have the conversation change. The hypothetical Ranger claims the hypothetical company is run by fellow comic creators. These creators certainly take no umbrage making, printing, distributing, promoting their own titles, and appearing on live streams to auction books not even published by their hypothetical company. But what of those hired to join them? Those who must wait weeks, if not months, to even know if their books are being released. Imagine being contracted for quarterly royalty payments and then being forced to check in yourself to even know if your book made a profit months or years after the fact. If that doesn't piss you off, regardless of what job you have. I don't care if you work 9 to 5 at a grocery store. I don't care if you're a bus driver. I don't care what your job is. Imagine you busting your ass every day, because comics creators bust their ass every day, Saturdays and Sundays. And the person who employs you, that pays you, doesn't pay you, and won't even tell you when you're going to get paid or what your effort was worth from a financial standpoint. Fuck that. That's disgusting. That's disgusting. You almost don't even need it. You don't even need to know anything else. You just need to know that. Because it's happening to him. It's happening to dozens of other people. I said 25 titles. 25. You got a writer, an artist, an inker, maybe, a letterer, a colorist. How many people are being fucked over by Scout right now?
Yeah, dude.
I mean, yeah, by that number, at least 100
minimum.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think also, like, the fact that you don't foresee this I think is also like poor planning on the part of a company. Is like going for more. It's greedy. It's wanting to then put the artists at a disadvantage because you know it's going to be hard to scale. You know it's going to be hard to reach out to people. Maybe you have that growth and you're seeing success, but then you try to focus in on that a little bit and little by little. But I remember because we get their PR emails and the influx of titles that they would have is just like, oh wow, like they must be doing that well to feel confident to grow that much. And lo and behold.
And it's tricky because it still brings up, like in a normal job, you could just stop working if they're not paying you.
Yeah.
But with Scout, when you've already sold your entire trade, the entire book, it's given to them already. You can't even use that as leverage. You have zero leverage here, which gives them the ability to just stiff you or keep you on the edge for, keep you on the line for as long as they want to.
The work is done. What can you do,
And you know what? Then they have that IP. Who cares if they fucking put out a book like that? You know what they can do? They can give that IP to Hollywood, though, see if they can make money that way, which is then probably not in your contract in some way.
Yeah.
And that is why Scout is going so hard, because it's an IP farm. That is the function of it's the function of big two publishers too, but certainly more so when you get past Image and Marvel and DC.
Yeah.
These publishers make their money by, creating these deals with Hollywood executives to make movies or television shows out of these properties.
There's a line in the Element Media global announcement, which I'm sure we'll get to, that really skeeves me out about that whole thing.
Well, let's go back to what Lewis said, because I'm sorry I'm so hot on this, but it really upsets me. This quote blew me away. So check this out. This is what Lewis said. In some cases, the hypothetical Ranger will sporadically release the book ahead of time on their web store. They claim it's their right. So what of the comic book stores purchasing their books? Where is the incentive to keep supporting this publisher if the publisher is their direct competitor for new books that don't even show up when they're supposed to? So let me say that another way. One of the core problems that the comics industry has is that you have the publisher, right? And then you have the actual comic book shop. You have the seller, okay? And the way it works is that the publisher makes a book. The creators make a book. The publisher gets it to a distributor. The distributor gets it to the bookstore. Okay. But then you have publishers like Marvel, like DC, like Scout in this case, that also have another way for you to directly get books from them. This is why DC and Marvel are not day and date, because the second they become day and date is the second that they become a direct competitor from the exact same establishments that are supposed to sell their books. That doesn't work. So that is what Lewis is calling out, that Scout is competing with stores by putting the books out ahead of their physical release. That's crazy to me.
Well, Ranger Comics, which seems
Ranger, sure.
Yeah. But that's my experience. Remember Forever Forward when I had to get that? Like, I couldn't get it on Comixology or Amazon. I had to go through their website and wait for them to email me a PDF.
A review still in progress, edit.
Yeah. And that ends abruptly. Yeah, it's weird.
It's disgusting.
And like for all it was, like the content of the book was good. I remember like we reviewed it and it was like, oh, it's a pretty good book, but
it's fine,
just the Scout of it all was messy.
No.
I'm gonna get into another disgusting element of this before we close out and get to Scout's new announcement, their new era. There is a rumor that the CEO of Scout, Brendan Deneen, has been going around.
Well, I already don't like this.
It's bad. It's bad.
Should we sprinkle some allegedlys here, Sean?
I said it's a rumor.
Sure. Okay.
The rumor is that Brendan has been going on the website comicbookroundup.com and has an account that's called Deneen. That's the name of the account. And negging, downvoting, leaving negative comments on Scout Comics books.
Who's this again?
Or rather, former
the CEO.
Yeah, the CEO, Brendan Deneen, leaving negative reviews on former Scout creators. Now, when that came out, and it was actually Lewis that pointed that out, according to the League of Comic Geeks.com, who have at Sky Hawkins has also done an incredible job of putting this whole thing together. Says that after it was pointed out that the account Bradeen on Comic Book Roundup was leaving negative reviews on former Scout creators, those started to get deleted. The evidence has been archived, and there is proof of it. But then a poster on Twitter named Brewbakers_Muse, John, aka Brewbakers_Muse, said, pointed this out, and then Brendan himself responded and said, "That is not me. Someone was impersonating me. Why would I ever do that? It makes no sense." To which Brewbaker's Muse said, "Well, this is good to hear. Haven't heard much from your camp about all that's going on. I have given your company money with the intent that it would get to specific artists. I no longer have that security with you or your company. What a shame." To which Brendan said, "I would appreciate it if you would delete this. It is 100% not true and deeply offensive that it is being reported anywhere as fact."
Hell?
So you get accused of doing something. It's an allegation. And you go on Twitter to defend yourself and say that it's not true. And when someone says, "Well, I've lost faith in you with all these stories," you say, "Oh, I would appreciate it if you would delete this." The same way that you were allegedly deleting your negative reviews and comments on Comic Book Roundup.
Rip.
And to only see those start getting deleted once the new like people have discovered it,
Yeah.
If it wasn't meant, if nobody discovered it, they'd probably still be up. And like the only option is like somebody like what is it? Occam's razor, the most obvious thing is the right answer. I don't know the exact term, but
yeah,
it's too complicated to think somebody impersonated a no-name CEO of a indie comic book company. It's too
For what?
And Comic Book Roundup, which is such like an inside baseball thing,
Yeah.
And if it's not true, then it's not true. We don't have a way of knowing it for a fact, but all this is very sus. And I think Brewbaker's Muse made an excellent point in response and said, also super weird that you can respond to me so quickly here on social media, but yet not the artists that have been reaching out for a year.
That's the most that's the worst part, is that this person felt like he was slighted and then decided to respond when he's been slighting who knows how many creators and feels no remorse or obligation to get back to that.
It's nasty. It's nasty.
Yeah, fuck that.
Bull said, "Somebody promote this CEO to customer."
Promote him to jail. If he's stiffing on payments and everything else, please. What do we need that for?
Yeah.
But there was a big announcement regarding the future of Scout. And it is that Scout
is going down the toilet.
Well, that already happened.
Oh.
Scout is partnering with Element Media Global to relaunch. They're going to go under. They're going to go under until the summer. And then they're going to relaunch in the partnership with Element Media. They're going to start a new imprint for horror books called Dark Harbor Comics. Not Dark Horse, Dark Harbor. And they say that this partnership will, quote, help Scout expand further into the comic book, original graphic novel, gaming, and multimedia space. And of course, there's a press release with all sorts of gobbledygook that's, just talk.
Wow. This is so exciting, guys. A new horror imprint where they can pay less people.
And they also say in the press release, Jamie Hake says the collaboration between Element and Scout is the beginning of something very special. Our shared visions and collaborative efforts are poised to help revolutionize the comic book industry. These initiatives will not only benefit our creators and employees, but comics fans in general. One of these initiatives is called Scout Launch, which will bring new paying jobs to writers, artists, colorists, and more. Okay, great. I'm not reading any more from that. And I personally, look, I want to support creators. So if there's a book that Scout is putting out by a creative team that I'm into, or a book that looks compelling, I want to get it. But I don't want to support Scout. I think Scout sucks.
Yeah.
I don't think this is an isolated incident. I think this has probably been going on for a long time. And the only reason anything's changing is because people are talking about it. And I think if there were money problems, if this is a result of, overhiring, overexpanding due to not realizing it was false money being put into the comic book industry during COVID, granted. Just communicate. The people are already not getting paid. The least you can do is tell them why.
And if it is money problems, Element Media is not good to help with that.
That's true too.
Yeah. Did you see Alex DeCampi's coverage on this at all?
No.
So Alex DeCampi on Blue Sky did private equity fund research as well as comic book writing. Damn. So she did a deep dive in this. And after looking at Element Media, their assets total $686.
Oh, well.
Which you can't even make one comic book with that.
Which again, it's assets. Literally. So that doesn't
just
you can fudge those, numbers are fudgeable. Just write it off, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it's not the most when you look into something that possibly help with money.
and you would assume they go bankrupt so that way they can renegotiate and pay out those creators and then get absorbed by Element and then relaunch. But this doesn't see that. That at the very least seems to be recourse for I'm going to make good on the payments owed to the creators. This is we're up and running, we're going forward, we're doing more shit. And actually there's a Yahoo Finance article on this one, and I like to see these because when they first apply, it's always about forward-looking statements, and there's always a disclaimer on Yahoo on the finance in particular. It reads, in some cases you can identify forward-looking statements with the following words: anticipate, believe, could, estimate, expect, intend. However, these statements contain these words, forward-looking statements do not guarantee future performance. This doesn't mean shit. It doesn't mean that you're down the line going to be successful now, nor does it mean that you retroactively, with that success, you will also apply that back to the people that you've hurt. So yeah, cool, you want to succeed on something, but what is the action plan to address the issue? The issue being creators aren't paid.
I look forward to meeting the tall, hot goth woman. Doesn't mean anything for me.
Who's that?
I'm just saying.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, the one you fumbled.
Well, palling around. Subscribe on Patreon. Yeah.
Look, I guess to Scout's credit, Jared has come forward and said that he was able to get a termination as far as the book that they had they were holding. Brendan has come out and said that they're willing to work with any Scout creators that are unhappy with the situation. Popverse got a statement from Brendan Deneen, who said, quote, "We are talking to Jared and currently reaching an amicable solution." Like I said, that's been resolved. And then also, quote, "Any creators with questions or concerns are always free to reach out to me directly, and we will work with them to rectify any outstanding issues." As Lewis Southard said earlier in our chat, Lewis was able to get that situation resolved on their end. So hopefully a lot of Scout creators will be able to get out of these contracts, get their money, get some resolution, get some communication. Hopefully Scout has learned their lesson, respond to emails, pay people on time or tell them why you're not. And, this won't happen again. But guess what, guys? It will. And if it ain't Scout, it'll be another publisher, because this is how comics work. There has never been a time in the history of the comic book industry, literally never, where people were not being exploited. And I'm sure that you could probably say the same thing about all of the entertainment industry, because it is built on the backs of creative people who have a dollar and a dream. and that's all, and not even $1 in some cases.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get someone like that who's built to work off of passion, that is a desperate, passionate person is the most easily exploitable person on earth. And that's what comics creators are.
Lewis does recommend other publishers if you are so inclined. Take some of these with a grain of salt because they are small and this can always happen. But he mentions Massive, which he's published other books under, Mad Cave, Avery Hill, and No Brow, which both are at SPX, and they have really great reps. Really, really helpful. Like even in conversations that I've had with them, just on the floor, and some of their not only salespeople, but some of the upper management there seem to be really genuine people. Dark Horse and Image as well. So worth exploring out as well.
Thanks for hanging in with us during that conversation. These are the kinds of things that need to be talked about. It's not a fun subject, it's not superheroes, capes, and tights, but we wouldn't have any of those things without the creators. And just because these are creators that aren't working on Big Two books doesn't mean that their experience is less valuable or less worth protecting. Like, Big Two creators are doing okay by and large. These are creators that are trying to make it. They're just trying to get their start. And exploitation needs to be called out and eradicated wherever possible. So that's, we're happy to play a role in that process because this is BS. But all right, there are some more fun things to talk about. And we do sort of have to, be quick about all this because, we've been at this for a little while now. But getting back into the, a little bit more of the fun announcements. We got 2 new G.I. Joe based comics announced this week from Skybound. The first one is Destro, who I guess is a Cobra villain, I guess.
Traditionally, yeah.
Yeah. And so this one, this story is going to be written by Dan Waters with art by Andre Bresson. So Destro is actually the leader of Mars, which is an acronym.
Mm-hmm.
It says, quote, James McCullen Destro is the man behind Mars Industries, the undisputed leader in providing high-tech weapons to world powers for the right price. But the emergence of Energon has changed everything. As Destro's ambition grows, the Crimson Twins, Tomax and Zamat Paoli, emerge to destroy their competition, and Cobra Commander realizes his current ally could be his future greatest enemy.
Huh. That's kind of cool. Yo, this character design is rad.
Destro is cool as character. Yeah.
Yeah.
He always has a deep cleavage too in his collar. Andre Bresson was the artist on Birthright. I think that was Williamson, I believe.
Oh, Image.
Great artist. I think he's been working out with Williamson on Dark Ride as well. But that's a good get for one of these books.
So from Joepedia, Mars Industries is an acronym for Military Armaments Research Syndicate, a corporation owned by James McCullen, who would later become Destro.
I want to know how long it took I guess Larry Hama probably created this character. I want to know how long it took Larry to come up with what those letters would represent.
Man, if he's anything like me, I can come up with an acronym quick. I love doing it. I love them.
Give me an acronym for Marvel.
Marvel. Okay.
No typing. What are you typing?
Just literally the word Marvel.
Okay.
Marvel. Magic. Magic. Ammunition. Recreation. Vivacious. Electric. Livelihoods.
No.
You didn't say it had to be a good acronym.
So this book releases June 19th. And it's more Energon Universe stuff, more G.I. Joe stuff. It's all been good so far. I can say though that this hasn't made me a G.I. Joe fan.
This
This meaning like
Launch.
this era, like it's all good stuff. And I think if you're a G.I. Joe fan, you'll probably love it. I've been enjoying Duke the most, but it's not something to where I'm like, yeah, I really gotta be on board with all this stuff. Like this one, I might skip.
Yeah, I think as somebody who's not aware of these characters, the incentive for picking it up for me is, well, this is just another comic. Like it doesn't connect, and he hasn't appeared yet in other books. And I'm only reading the first issue of Cobra Commander, the stuff that we've been reading with Duke, the stuff that we've been reading with Transformers. So like, if maybe there was more inclusion there, I'd be at least familiar and therefore potentially interested. But because I don't have that, this feels like, okay, this is a spin-off of a side character. It just feels like maybe this is too much, but this feels like a Spider Boy. I don't know if I'm going to pick up a Spider Boy.
Destro is a pretty huge G.I. Joe character. Yeah.
Wouldn't know.
It's also, though, that this line just launched. We're only at the ground level with Duke and Cobra Commander, and now you're introducing another wrench into this. Is there even a Joe book yet?
There's no Joe book. Well, there's a G.I. Joe book, but that's just continuing Larry Hamill's run on the comics. It doesn't really tie into this greater world.
Yeah. And the greater world is also tied into Transformers.
Well, is G.I. Joe a person?
No, it's sort of the name of the
team, the organization,
okay.
Yeah.
The team, yeah.
Is Duke the leader?
He's like a key member. Yeah.
The government's the leader, really.
Yeah.
But like, who's the field team leader?
Duke sometimes, Roadblock sometimes. It depends. A lot of people are dead, and they're usually like, the whole idea, I think, from, again, tangential knowledge, is that G.I. Joe, it's like, all right, we get a certain team for the mission.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a bit like S.H.I.E.L.D. in that way.
All right. I like Dan Waters a lot. Dan's been killing it recently, so it'll probably be worth a read for that alone. And then the art's real good too. So June 19th. The other announcement that we got is much more compelling to me. And this is a Scarlet miniseries. So this is a 4-issue mini that will come out the 5th of June, June 5th. And the creative team is the reason why partially the creative team. Kelly Thompson, one of our favorites, and Marco Ferrari are teaming up for this. And the primary character is Shayna Scarlett O'Hara. And it says Shayna is about to take on the most dangerous Black Ops mission of her career, infiltrating the mysterious rising power in Japan known as Arashikage clan. Her one lead is her former partner, Jinx, turned Arashikage enforcer. Now, Scarlet must use her operative skills to survive undercover and discover a shocking weapon that could change the balance of power on Earth. Cool. Let's see. Love Kelly Thompson. Art's real good. Scarlet looks awesome. I'm in.
Yeah.
You got Kelly Thompson riding a redhead? Sean's in.
Yes.
Easy sell.
That's it. You didn't even need a premise.
Nope.
I'm unfamiliar with Marco Ferrari, but I did some looking on him, and it's really interesting stuff. It's good stuff.
What has he been on?
What was that?
I
don't think he's been on much, honestly, in terms of work. This might be like his first real big thing. And again, Scarlet, huge character in G.I. Joe lore. So
this feels like a Black Widow or a James Bond. And looking at the preview images here, I'm enticed. This is cool. Like this looks like proper spy work stuff, and that seems rad. That's an angle that I can get behind in G.I. Joe. Less the army stuff, but this espionage looks interesting.
Well, this is a perfect opportunity for us to make an announcement of our own. Since Skybound wants to announce books, we want to announce a guest. And that guest is the aforementioned Kelly Thompson.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yes. We had Kelly on last year. It was a huge success. It was a great conversation. She certainly became one of our favorite guests. And so we are bringing her back on board. She will be joining us in only 2 weeks on Saturday, March 23rd. We are going to do the show at 1 p.m. once again to accommodate Kelly because she is in the West Coast. But she's going to hang out with us. We'll talk some Scarlet. We'll talk Black Cloak. We'll talk the Call. We'll talk, obviously, Birds of Prey. So we've got a lot to chat about with Kelly. So come prepared with your questions, and maybe we can give away maybe like a Birds of Prey Volume 1 or a Black Widow Volume 1 or something like that. So should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Can't wait. All right. We'll move out of the Joe space. And let's get into the X-Men space, the X space. So, all right. There's a lot to talk about with the X-Men, and I'm going to try to be as brisk as I can. We got some more info about what's going on with the X-Men. Major details. So the first detail is that the Women of Marvel #1 comic gave us some idea of what this new X-Men era is going to look like. So we know that there are going to be at least 2 teams of X-Men. We also know that one of them will be led by Rogue and the other will be led by Kate Pryde.
Oh, the Marauders. Nice.
Also, in that same anthology, there's a story that gives us a look at what those teams might look like. Madam Web gets a premonition, which is just like, oh my God, Madam Web.
Love her.
Why, first of all, why is Women of Marvel another
Voices. Marvel Voices.
Not Voices, Tyler, help me. The end of year book that Marvel always does.
Oh, like a timeless sort of thing. Yeah.
Why is Women of Marvel another timeless, right? Where we have Madam Web having premonitions.
I think they might have thought the movie would do well, but
that's exactly right.
Yeah.
So,
I can't imagine that's true.
it looks like Rogue leading a team with Wolverine, Nightcrawler, Gambit, and then Kate has Emma Frost and other characters that you can't really tell. Storm is giving a speech on a podium. It looks like she's maybe running for office of some sort. I've seen that idea floated around a lot, that maybe Storm is trying to become the first mutant. Like,
is she going to storm the Capitol?
No,
nice.
Not nice.
So does Storm.
So those things are in play, and I'm immediately unhappy.
Why? I'm not against that. Rogue leading an X-Men team sounds fine to me.
Good team, too.
It sounds like my way straight out of the X line.
Yep.
Wait, what?
I have
Why?
no interest in that.
Boring ass shit. That's why.
She's cool. Kate Pryde maybe like whatever, I guess, but like what?
I mean, Kate
got
Pryde
nothing to do with that. I like Kitty Pryde.
Yeah, that makes sense too. Like just the preeminent student of the X-Men finally becoming the leader. There's a story.
Cyclops
there.
is the preeminent student of the X-Men.
Maybe modern then. From Claremont's run onwards. But.
Modern as a 40 years ago.
Yeah.
No, for me, this doesn't feel right. This doesn't pass the smell test for me. I prefer a more traditional leader. Even if you go Storm, I'm in love with Storm as a leader of the X-Men. But a relaunch for me has to look, clean. Like Cyclops is the guy, and I feel like Cyclops didn't get nearly as much play as he deserved during the Krakoan era, and I would like to see him be back in that leadership position. Kitty and Rogue as leads, like of a side team, okay, but to me, not of the main teams.
And to me, this just sounds like exactly the kind of stuff that Marco and I have said. Leaving Krakoa will usher in.
Yeah.
Just the same old slight twist of the original thing, and no thanks.
Yeah, I'm not interested in that.
Does this? I mean, we still don't have news, which it looks like we're getting news next week.
I think we have news. I believe we have news. We have official news coming next week. But
yeah. Gail Simone was very not. She was heavy-handed on the hints. Yeah. This is starting to feel like a stopgap until they can really figure out the next X-Men status quo. It's just more like, well, we can't not put out X-Men comics. So we need to.
Oh, they brought on Tom Brevoort.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah,
that's true. I guess. I don't know. I need more meaty news than a flash forward panels and a Woman of Marvel comic.
I need more meaty comics.
Fair.
Facts.
Well, those aren't $3.99 though.
Speaking of Tom Brevoort, he's got a newsletter or Substack that is pretty cool. And he talks a lot about, comics, obviously. And he answers direct questions, and he was asked about the X-Men. He said a lot of things. He was asked about wokeness in the X line and things like that. I'm going to avoid all that because that's all garbage. But he did say one interesting thing. People brought up X-Men 97 and how X-Men 97's existence could be influencing the direction of the mutants going forward. I mean, my God, you look at the characters I just mentioned, all of them are part of X-Men 97. And then not Kitty Pryde, I guess, but and then you look at the fact that they're bringing Claremont back for the final issue of X-Men, which they're calling X-Men 35 and 700. Somehow they got to that point. But this is what Tom had to say. The one thing I can promise you is that everything is going to change. Some of those things you will like and others you will not. That's the way it goes. Some may seem regressive to some people while they feel like a return to the essence of certain characters for others. And some people will be unhappy at elements of developments from the past 5 years that stay in place or that move forward in unexpected ways. This is the Marvel Universe, and every story is built upon the foundation of all the stories that came before. Everything can't stay the same forever, but neither can it simply revert back to 92 or 80 or whatever it was, as though the intervening time never happened. To be clear, nobody at Disney has said word one to me about wanting or needing the X-Men to be presented in a specific way. As I related at the top, most of those people were utterly unaware of what our plans were until this past week when I talked them through everything. I know that people love to pin blame on gigantic faceless corporations, but if you wind up hating everything that we do, it's going to come down to the choices that I and my team and creators made and will make, not some evil edict from secret shadowy bad guys. It will be this way because we made it this way and no other reason.
Yeah, the bad guys have faces, and it's Tom Brevoort.
I love Tom Brevoort. I'm a big fan of Tom Brevoort, but let me tell you something. That was a line of bullshit. And why do I say that? Out of love for Tom, I say it because he said the exact same thing 10 years ago when everybody was saying that the X-Men in comics were on ice because of the movies. And he said that was not true. That was a lie. That was an outright lie, and we know that now.
Tom Brevoort is the company man of company men.
Damn.
And also, like,
you don't need face value.
Yeah, you don't need to have discussions with top Disney execs to also expect what would work for them. Like there's that distinction there. It's like, well, we didn't talk to anyone. I don't need to talk to anyone to know that the synergy would make sense here.
And also, just because you didn't speak to someone from Disney doesn't mean Dan Buckley didn't tell you. It doesn't mean that you didn't receive word. And it doesn't mean that your own intentions aren't to create the synergy. So, come on. We all know what's going on here. Who's going to write?
Me.
Is that an announcement you're making now?
I could.
Make the announcement.
Make it. Breaking news.
All right. I am writing.
Oh.
Congratulations.
Wow. It feels, guys, it feels good to get that off my chest. It's a daily regimen, and you can do it too.
Well, can you two write?
No, Bono can't. Oh.
Who is going to be writing these, at least one of these two new teams? Marvel is intent to tell us, CP Cebulski, Tom Brevoort, will let us know what the future of the X-Men is next week at South by Southwest. They're going to be having a panel where they're going to talk about all this. Gail Simone, she posted on Twitter regarding this announcement and said, "So, I am excited with a capital X to head to South by Southwest for Marvel next week with a capital X. I can't explain with a capital X what we'll be revealing next, but we are ecstatic with an X, and that word doesn't even have an X in it, to share it with you all. No hints, though. Excelsior."
Huh.
With you guessed it, a big ol' X.
Yep.
What is she trying to say?
I think she's writing the next Ecstatics comic.
Oof.
Look, Marvel has a certain way of operating. They've been doing the same thing for years. Gail Simone writing X-Men Free Comic Book Day. Gail Simone is writing the new era of X-Men. To me, this sews it up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't sold yet. You know what? I think Fantastic Four will also be coming out earlier than expected.
Oh shit. Amin says, "Is there any statistical proof that making comics similar to the movies increases sales? Is that an actual thing? And are they being gaslit into oblivion?" No, we know that that's not a thing. Maybe on a very marginal level, but not largely. I think if it'd be a lot bigger if Jim Lee was doing the art than them making it look like whatever, making it set up for the movies. I think a lot more people would read the book if Jim Lee was doing the art than if the characters in the book resemble whatever movie they're making.
The only direct correlation I can remember is when James Gunn announced the Supergirl movie, and that book then sold like crazy and was sold out. But even then, that is not as direct as you're saying. That's not making the comics look like the movies. It's more of the inverse.
Promoting the book.
Yeah.
Based on the fact that, what this book was an inspiration for the movie. That's smart. That's what James Gunn's doing. What Marvel has done for the last decade plus is not smart, which is make the comics look like the movies. No evidence.
What was that Avengers Assemble book by Bendis that came out when the Avengers movie came out with like Thanos in it? Yeah.
Marowak Escuro says, "Hope they don't just delete the Krakoan storyline from continuity."
That's not happening.
Well, they're gonna pick and choose stuff they like from it. So maybe we'll keep like Rasputin 4 and Charles is gonna keep walking, and he'll probably keep the cool helmet.
I don't even think that's happening. The final X-Men cover has him in the wheelchair again.
Oh,
they oracled his ass.
Status quo.
It's gonna be because they're killing whatchamacallit, Moira. It's gonna reset everything. None of that shit ever happened. Like my thinking is
they'll write their way around it. That's the job.
So I think I might have an answer to that as far as like, are they just rebooting everything? Because there was another X announcement this week, and it is the book X-Men Heir of Apocalypse. The concept of this book is that and by the way, the creative team is Steve Fox and Netho Diaz. But the concept is that Apocalypse is leaving. He's not going to be performing the Apocalypse function on Earth anymore. He's going to be, on Araco or whatever. And so there needs to be a replacement for Apocalypse on Earth. And so 12 different mutants are going to essentially have a trial, a tournament or whatever, to determine who will take on the role of Apocalypse. So the characters are Armageddon Girl, Cable, Cypher, Emma Frost, Exodus, Forge, Gorgon, Mirage, Mr. Sinister, Penance, Richter, and Laura Kinney. X-23 Wolverine.
Man, if Richter doesn't win this, he did way too much to not get this.
I'm not buying this. I don't want to. Okay, we'll review it for the show, but I don't want to read it.
So me don't read it.
Okay, start counting those double negatives. He's not reading it, so he is reading it. He's not reading it, so he's not reading it. He's not. How many knots was that?
I'm in a knot.
I think we're tied into a knot over
that. Oh, I can not.
What knot?
Oh.
I just, so first of all, First of all, I'm tired of new number ones when we're still in the Krakoan era. Like, can we please stop?
Yeah.
But then, second of all, Apocalypse is Apocalypse. We do not need another character who already has an identity to just become the replacement of Apocalypse. To me, that kind of thing is just so boring.
Not even that, but like he has children. Like he has heirs already.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they don't care about Earth's mutant kind.
This is Battle for the Cale mutant style.
Yeah.
X of Swords.
Or worse somehow. And I like Battle for the Cale.
Quote, for centuries, Apocalypse tested the mutants of Earth to guarantee that only the strong would survive. Now, as he takes his throne on Arakko, another must rise in his place to ensure the mutants of Earth do not grow weak in his absence. 12 mutants chosen from the X-Men's greatest heroes and villains will compete for the honor, but only one can become the heir of Apocalypse. Come on, man.
Say that one more time. 12 mutants chosen by who?
Apocalypse.
Emma Frost? I don't. Come on. Like,
Forge?
Word, Forge, what's my man gonna do?
It's random. It feels random, man. And maybe there will be a reason in story why all these characters make sense, but it just, I don't know. It just feels random.
just stop, man. It's already dead. Like,
and I had to look into who Armageddon Girl was too, and that's like Nature Girl, I guess, who mutated more in X-Men Green. It's like there's a lot of weird things here. This feels like a book that would be a part of that digital only line.
yeah.
The Infinite?
Yeah.
Aaron Ruiz says, I just hope whoever wins, they don't give them blue skin and an apocalypse sign, right? Like, are they just going to do that? What about Evan? Whatever happened to Evan, Apocalypse's son?
Yeah.
Get him on
me started
board.
on that. That's a whole blank spot of the Krakoan era.
For real.
Listen, we can all agree. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, we can all agree whoever wins, we lose.
I think so. And no discredit to Steve Fox or Neto Diaz. It's just like, I don't care about this concept. Yeah. Pete Folt says, I'm with Sean. I don't care about this. I don't care about Apocalypse. Yeah. Like, I love Apocalypse, but I think they did so much growth with that character. And I don't know that that's his role. That's not his role anymore.
No. Well, if they're reverting back, it is his role, because that's what his role was in times past before Krakoa.
You're assuming they do the Moira thing, though.
The what?
You're assuming they do the Moira just reboot stuff.
Well, no, but Krakoa, I'm assuming Krakoa is over, gone. Like, whether or not they reset, there is no Krakoa, there is no Mutant Paradise. All the growth that he had to be there and to facilitate other mutants there is gone. That reason is now, if anything, he's been spurned and he's been hurt.
But hurt, he left. He left them. He's a part of the reason why Krakoa is ending, because Apocalypse didn't help them. So this idea that he's got to be the one to test mutant kind, it's garbage, because if he wanted mutant kind to succeed, he wouldn't have left them. And if they're going into a new era, I don't think that automatically means that an Apocalypse must exist, because Apocalypse wasn't required during the Krakoan era. So all this to me is horse shit. It's just a way to have their cake and eat it too. They want to put Apocalypse on Arakko, which makes sense, but then they also want to have Apocalypse on Earth. You can't be in two places at once. I just can't develop care for this.
Would you guys live on Mars and Arakko, or would you guys stay on Earth?
Earth.
There's no way
I can't breathe on Mars.
No way.
If you guys were mutants, you'd stick it out on Earth?
We know my mutant power would be like the mutant power to have allergies. Like, I'd have a useless power. I'm not useful on Arakko.
The mutant power to not have allergies.
My luck, I'd be like fucking Beak.
And Beak has trouble on Earth, let alone Arakko.
Yeah.
Arakko's a survival of the fittest planet, essentially. I guess it sort of changed after Storm beat Genesis, but still, like, those mutants they're not the same as Earth mutants, like in terms of mentality. James Jones, why in the world is Marvel wasting time with this? Just conclude the era and relaunch. I agree.
It's already dead.
Well, we'll stop wasting our time talking about this ending X-Men era. You know, we'll get more news next week, an official announcement of what's coming next for the X-Men. But we wanted to take some time now to say goodbye and share our thoughts about the passing of Akira Toriyama, someone who I think brightened up all of our lives, all of our childhoods, certainly into adulthood. Akira Toriyama, the creator of Dragon Ball and many, many other things that people love and enjoy, has sadly passed at the age of 68. I think most of my friends, most of the people that are in my life, love Dragon Ball. I personally, I've played for the last 5 years a Dragon Ball card game. And so many of the people that I see regularly, my day-to-day friends, I met through that game. I wouldn't even know those people if it wasn't for Akira Toriyama. I saw someone say on social media, it's an incalculable amount of friendships that exist solely because of Dragon Ball. My oldest friend, the oldest friend that I have, a friendship of almost 30 years, he used to get tapes. His father would buy tapes of Dragon Ball Z from Japan because they were ahead, and he would get the movies and everything, and he used to show them to me. I didn't even know about Dragon Ball until this person showed them to me. This is the impact that Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z and everything else have had on the lives of so many people. And so it is a terrible loss. It's like he was still working.
Yeah.
He was still actively working on the future of Dragon Ball and other projects, I'm sure.
Like Sandland,
video
was a
game
coming out. Yeah.
Coming out.
Sandland, which is based on a manga he did. Yep. I mean, seeing the artists come out too, like it's affected everyone, you know. Like Zoe, I saw Zoe Thorogood post about it. I saw Tilly Walden post about it. Daniel Warren Johnson. Like the stuff we cover on the show might not exist without Akira Toriyama.
Yep.
Like Akira Toriyama's, I think it was Mr. Slump, was it? Where he kind of shrunk down things.
Dr. Slump.
Something Slump. Like, or is it Dr. Sleep? Where he kind of like shrunk down kaiju is what essentially made chibi art. You know, like that kind of comes from Toriyama.
I thought you were gonna. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Sean.
I thought you were gonna give the example of Mario. That I don't have it right in front of me, but one of Toriyama's characters was actually the movement of the character and everything like that, and some of their dress was the inspiration from Mario. In fact, you can tell that most specifically by the Tanuki Mario costume, which sort of resembles the original character. Not that it's plagiarism, just that, you know, Mario was heavily influenced by Toriyama's work.
Yeah.
And the impact globally, you know, I've seen some people like, you know, like in good faith jesting, you know, like Mexico flags are half mast right now, but like how big Dragon Ball was in Mexico, the Mexican government illegally streamed the big tournament for Dragon Ball Z in the public square for everyone to come watch.
Wow.
That fucking rules.
Like it's huge globally across the world. Like if you think anime, it's Dragon Ball Z you think of.
Yeah. Yep.
And if you think of something else, it was influenced by Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah. One Piece, easy.
Yep.
Naruto.
Well, Hendrik Perry makes an amazing point in the chat saying anime's modern North American presence is vastly different without Dragon Ball. That is completely true. Most of the people that I know who like anime got their start with Dragon Ball Z.
Yep. It's so accessible. One of the best posts I've seen going around is the comparison of Toriyama's art in Dragon Ball versus stuff like Fist of the North Star, and there's another one that I can't remember, but the action in those older books before Dragon Ball and before Toriyama, the action is it's not very clear. You can't always see what's going on, but Toriyama's lines and stuff, you can even see it here to a degree. You know, this isn't a Toriyama, I don't think, but you know, the action lines are so clear. You can see what's happening. And, you know, in a fight where things are fast and they can get muddled, you know exactly what's happening.
Vincent Flanagan says the hardest death outside a family or friend in the last decade for me. I'm very sorry.
Yeah.
I'm very sorry that you're struggling in that way. This is a difficult one because when you think about, you know, Toriyama and you think about the things that you love, it's like, man, dude, Dragon Ball was it when I was like a teen, an early teen. That was the thing. And so many, like I said, so many people I know I wouldn't know, memories that I have that I wouldn't have. I've traveled for tournaments with this card game, you know, like deep things to me that just wouldn't exist. I'm wearing a Goku shirt right now, you know, like.
Yep.
And like growing up as a kid, like I wasn't trying to mimic Jack Kirby style when I was drawing.
That's the thing. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Dragon Ball Z inspired me to draw. My own personal stick figure guy has Goku hair.
Which is to say, like, starting that is how I started creating and being creative. You know, I'm not an artist by any means, but I do have creative outlets, and I think that is a fire starter for me. Is Dragon Ball Z and Akira Toriyama art.
Yeah.
Aaron Ruiz says George Jimenez, Pepe Larraz, Kafu, many great artists influenced by him. The list is endless. The list of great artists is endless, but then the list of artists that we don't even know about, whose names we just don't know because we're not in their space or whatever the reason is, they're inspired by him too.
And even if not directly inspired, I guaranteed indirectly inspired.
Yeah. 100%.
What inspired them to draw was inspired by Dragon Ball.
Yep. The lineage of inspiration for art in the modern age can lead back to Akira Toriyama at some point.
Yeah. So this is the letter that was shared by the Dragon Ball website. Quote, "Dear friends and partners, we are deeply saddened to inform you that manga creator Akira Toriyama has passed away on March 1st due to acute subdural hematoma. He was in the age of 68. It is our deep regret that he still had several works in the middle of creation with great enthusiasm. Also, he would have many more things to achieve. However, he had left many manga titles and works of art to this world. Thanks to the support of so many people around the world, he has been able to continue his creative activities for over 45 years. We hope that Akira Toriyama's unique world of creation continues to be loved by everyone for a long time to come. We inform you of this sad news with gratefulness for your kindness during his lifetime." Reading that actually makes me really sad.
Yeah.
The thing in the world that makes me the most sad is death. Because to me, the death of a person is the death of a world. Like, it's the death of potential. Anything that they could have been, could have done, how they could have impacted, changed the world is gone. All that is over. It's not possible anymore. Possibility dies with people. And it's even sadder when it's someone like Akira Toriyama, whose world, his world, the world that he shared with us, was so bright and full of life and gave us so much laughter and moments of joy and happiness. All I'm filled with right now is gratitude. I want to say thank you, Akira Toriyama, for letting us be a part of your world. I don't want to end on a down note, though. So I thought, in honor of Akira Toriyama, that we could play a draft. We could do a draft based on Akira Toriyama's characters. In honor, of course. And so the rules, very simple. The only rule that I'm putting on here, we're going to draft 5 characters. The only rule is that if you are drafting from Dragon Ball, you can only choose one character from a given race of people. So if you choose Goku, you can't choose Vegeta.
Just saying. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Where do people like Gohan fit?
He's a Saiyan.
He's a Saiyan or
But he's human. Yeah.
If you choose him, then you can't choose another Saiyan or another human.
Oh, so that knocks
So you
out
just
both.
don't pick
Okay,
them.
so I couldn't do Gohan and Krillin. Okay.
And then of course, draft style, snake draft deal. I will roll first for Cale. That is a 10.
Ooh,
I'll roll for myself. That is a 2. I will roll for Marco.
11.
That is a 9. And I will roll for Tyler. That is an 8. So Cale, Marco, Tyler, and myself. And we're drafting 5 Akira Toriyama created characters.
Okay. I'm gonna go off the top. I'm gonna go Gohan.
Nice. Okay.
I'm gonna go Frog from Chrono Trigger.
Oh,
Yeah, he
sick.
actually took one of mine. Give me Vegeta. I have the opportunity to take Vegeta. I'm going to take Vegeta. So give me Vegeta.
Well, I'm going to grab Goku.
But you couldn't do.
I haven't drafted.
Yeah.
Oh, you
it's
can't
not,
yourself again.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
not
not for the table. Oh,
yeah,
gotcha.
you
I
only
thought for
limited
the
yourself
group.
with Frog by your own regard. So
So I'll draft Goku, and I will also draft Cell.
So back to me. Let me get a Namekian. Let me get Piccolo.
Oh, damn. I was just. Let me do Bulma.
Okay.
She was up there for me. Yeah.
Gohan. So I will do. Oh. What's this guy's name? Let me double check his name. He's a Kai. Am I thinking of the Supreme Kai?
Oh, with the hair and the earrings.
Yep.
that
That's
teach-
exactly what I'm thinking of. The Supreme Kai.
And
And shit. And
Shit,
and
is that a
then
Dragon
I
Ball
will
character?
pick-
Oh.
I will pick. Ooh. Controversial, maybe. Android 17.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You said which Namekian, Tyler? You said Piccolo?
Piccolo.
I did say Piccolo. Yep.
Is King Daimo Piccolo different?
It's still Piccolo.
Well,
He just changes a bit.
fine. I'm gonna choose
Yeah,
Hero.
there's no picking Super Saiyan 3 Goku. There's no picking Gogeta. This becomes Budokai Tenkaichi with all the character choices.
Yeah.
Bless you.
I'm gonna pick Hero.
Okay.
Who'd you pick, Marco?
Hero from
Oh, a Dragon
Quest, yeah.
Yep. So I'm on number 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me get Beerus.
Hey,
Nice.
Designed after Toriyama's cat. So
that's fun. I'm going to draft another Namekian. I'm going to draft Pycon.
ooh, Pycon's good. I thought you were gonna pick Dende, and I was like, interesting choice.
And I will also draft. Let's see, 17 was taken. Damn, 17 is my guy. I'll draft Broly. Oh, I can't. I'll draft 18.
I'm
up.
Yeah.
Let me get my man, Mr. Satan, Hercule.
Hey,
Nice. Man, I shot myself in the foot with Bulma. I wanted to do Yajirobe next.
My man, yeah, you did.
Damn, bro.
Did you see Yajirobe? He was on my thoughts too. Yeah.
Yeah, damn. I'm like, fuck, wait, I can't do that now. I don't want Broly. Damn,
Hendrik says Android 17 and 18 are mostly human. Well, no, they're
they're
androids.
Yeah, I think there's enough
yeah.
androids where we can make androids its own thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
wait.
gonna-
Go ahead.
Did you pick Cell? Can you pick Cell if he's...
Oh, you're right. You're right. That
Oh.
is absolutely right. Okay. So then I'll go with Krillin.
Oh,
What's the deal with Cell?
He's
an
an
android.
android. Yeah.
He is?
yeah.
He's the perfect android. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
In that case, I'm gonna do fuck. Oh, I can't do Krillin. Damn it.
Really
Trunks.
struggling with this one.
There's
Wait, Marco,
other
are you
people I
picking
would've-
again?
Trunks.
Okay. Wait.
Oh my god, this is funny.
You didn't pick a Saiyan yet?
No. So what the
Wow,
hell's the
okay.
difficulty?
It's not the ones I wanted.
All right, well, that's the draft. Can you please?
Oh, it's still Marco?
No,
Yeah,
I
right?
went.
No, he
I did
didn't.
Trunks.
No,
I
it's
did- I did
Cale's
say-
turn.
It's Cale.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh,
Okay.
my bad, my
okay.
bad.
You picked Trunks. Yeah.
This is my last two, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna do Majin Buu,
Mm.
and I have reached my Dragon Ball knowledge. And I'm gonna do yeah.
Oh.
And then I'm gonna do the slime character from Dragon Quest.
That was literally my last pick right there. Damn.
Oh yeah.
Back to Marco.
Dang it.
Shouldn't have drafted Gohan, man.
Should have started with Frog.
Yeah. Damn, I was gonna do the slime. Fuck.
Y'all
Tien's-
should have got first. I don't know what you want.
Yeah, Tien's just a human.
Chaozu. Pick Chaozu.
No, but Chiaotzu's a human too.
Wait, you can't even choose Trunks because Trunks is half human.
Isn't he Saiyan too?
Yeah,
He's a
but
Saiyan.
Saiyan, like we had said earlier, if you draft a Saiyan who is also a human, you're locked out of both.
Man, for the sake of me making this a short, I wanted to say let him have Trunks.
Sure.
This is going hard. People are already mad at us about the androids.
yeah, the editing that's going to be involved.
Oh wait, then I can choose Android 17.
No, you can't because I have Android 17.
Oh damn, you took them? Fuck. Damn, dude. I ran out of characters now.
Bro, Ginyu Force?
Oh, I'll do Dr. Juro in that case.
Okay. So, yeah, Cale, projected my pick. It's Captain Ginyu.
Nice.
It was going to be Goldo, but I changed my mind to Ginyu.
I am going to go with Sin Shenron
Ooh.
from GT as my last pick. I actually wanted to take Yamcha because my team is so broken that I needed a guy who was just in the corner blown away, the first to die, but I got Krillin, so.
What is Frieza?
Okay.
Nobody picked Frieza.
Frieza's just a Frieza, whatever.
Is it like is he like a android? Is he a
He's an alien.
I'm sure he's
Yeah,
an
but I don't know what
alien
he
of
is.
some race.
Species Frost Demon.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh
He
yeah,
would've
they're
chosen-
demons. Yeah, I forgot there's a lot of demons in this. Yeah.
If Frieza's not a demon, but if Frieza would have been chosen, then you couldn't choose like King Cold or Cooler.
That's what it says. They're extraterrestrial species called Frost Demons.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think
Get learnt.
Diabora is one of them too.
Who
Fair
is?
enough.
Diabora, that's you get into that's Boo Saga.
Oh.
Stuff, yeah. I didn't
Chat
realize how
getting
much I
in
knew.
Chat getting in our ass about the androids. They are cyborg. Android is a mistranslation. Well, shit, man. I don't know that.
I don't speak Japanese. I go by what they tell me.
Thank you. Oh, wait. Those are our picks. So I'll run through them real quick again. Kale got Gohan, Supreme Kai, Android 17, Majin Buu, and Slime.
Sean,
Marco-
can I interrupt real quick? Just to make this can we all just say our picks?
No, because I don't remember them.
Oh, come on.
Why can't
He
I
was
just say the
he,
picks?
yeah, he's
It's-
literally doing that.
It's easier for the short form when I make it.
Oh, good. I don't remember mine.
Marco got Frog, Bulma, Hero, Trunks, and Dr. Gero. Tyler got Vegeta, Piccolo, Beerus, Hercule, and Ginyu. And I drafted Goku, Cell, Pikkon, Krillin, and Sin Shenron.
Damn.
I just Googled Sin Shenron and he scares me.
I
Yo,
love Sin
word. He's a monster looking guy.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I only knew characters from like OG Dragon Ball, and most of them are just humans.
I know. Yeah.
Shenron.
Yeah, if you get
we're not even
Dragon
gonna.
Ball, it's like
Sorry?
only humans at that point.
Yeah.
We're not even gonna worry about a winner. This was to honor Akira Toriyama. Thank you, Akira, for granting us these wonderful characters. And I'm glad that I'm unfortunately only familiar with Dragon Ball, but I'm glad that you guys knew some of his other characters so that we could represent that as well.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for hanging out with us for this extended episode of the Comics Pals. We are nearing 3 hours, which means that we have to get the heck out of here.
We've been here so long.
The next time we'll be live with you is Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern for Pals Pulls. Vote in the listener pick poll on youtube.com/thecomicspals under the community tab to decide which of those books will make it into Pals Pulls. Patreon.com/thecomicspals is the best way to support us if that's what you are so inclined to do. Book Club vote is up now for what will represent Green Month here. The books are Incredible Hulk, Future Imperfect, Swamp Thing, Saga the Swamp Thing Volume 2, Hard Traveling Heroes, Green Arrow, Green Lantern, and Planet Hulk. Also, the book club voting option is now available to all of our supporting patrons. So if you've ever wanted to get in on that, now's the time.
Do it. Do it.
Of course, channel members, thank you guys so much. We appreciate all of you. Click the join button if you want to get involved on that level. For everything else at the Comics Pals, until Thursday, we are the Comics Pals signing off. Take care, guys.